Technologies, proud to provide the technology for Championship Ice at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts and the Safeway Championship. Hi everybody, I'm Mitchell Clinton. Welcome back to Credit Union Place for the Water Right pregame show. Before the game between Jason Gunnlaugson and Jerry Chudley gets underway, we're going to start with the pregame show. We're going to talk to Dauphin Tourism's Carissa Karuk-Ganser, and you're also going to hear from your favorite voices that have come through your TV already this week. Resby Coots and Don Finkbinder, they're going to be by to join us, so don't go anywhere. You're watching the Safeway Championship on Shaw TV.
Open nature, made from natural ingredients, exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
Chudley Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannies.ca for recipe ideas.
Safeway Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba canola growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
In his first 2 seasons of curling, Alex Marchand won 7 games. 8 games. In that time, he put together a 2-game winning streak, got new uniforms, met an Olympic gold medalist, made the front page of Curling Monthly. He explained to his boss what sweeping does, and got his butt kicked by a guy with a fake hip. Yes, Alex the Hack Marchand has had quite a year, and it all started with a click.
Safeway, proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Brought to you by Email Direct. For more information, visit safewaychampionship.ca.
And welcome back to the Water Right pregame show here at the Safeway Championship. I'm Mitchell Clinton, and to my right is Carissa Karuk-Ganser, and she is with Dauphin Tourism, or Tourism Dauphin, I should say. And so, Carissa, I guess my first question for you would be, events like this, what do they do for Dauphin and Tourism Dauphin, I'm sure?
It's a great opportunity for us to showcase the facilities we've got, that we've made an investment in our community, and to welcome visitors to our region throughout the various times of the year. So we rolled the red carpet, we've got our businesses are on board, our community's on board, and our volunteers are here gung-ho. So.
And we can talk a little bit about those volunteers. We were talking a little bit earlier that they're not all just from Dauphin, actually. No, that's a great thing about our community, and the opportunity to attract these types of events is that we do so many annual events on an annual basis for many decades that way, that we've got people and volunteers from all across the region who are always keen to jump on board and calling us right out the bat as soon as they hear there's an announcement. How can we get involved? How can we make this a great thing for the Parkland region? So we're quite excited to have everybody here. For sure. Now, we've talked a lot about the facilities this week. You know, obviously Credit Union Place has been adjusted from a hockey rink to 5 sheets of curling ice. What other places in Dauphin, if you were a tourist and you were coming into Dauphin and they came to Tourism Dauphin, they said, Carissa, where should I go? It depends what time of year you're coming on. We've always got something for everyone. Depends what your interest is. Next door, as you probably have seen, we've got our brand new community Country Fest Community Cinema, our new 4-plex movie theater, and it actually turns 1 year old this weekend. So February 11th is our anniversary. So we're seeing a lot of people coming in from the region for that theater. But whether you're an outdoor enthusiast with all of our fishing and hunting in our region, snowshoeing, curling, any of those pieces too, or for any of our history buffs, we've got some really great cultural attractions during community, major festivals on an annual basis. So something for everyone of all ages, definitely in our region. So would you say those festivals, we're talking Country Fest and Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, do you think in the summer that those are kind of the biggest draws that Tourism Dauphin kind of goes off of and kind of says, you know, these are the big events that are coming, and this kind of around it is what other things you can do as well? Definitely. Those are the key ones that put us on the map and bring us visitors into our community and put that publicity out in the community. We have a ton of other stuff that happens in the area. We've got a lot of different visitors coming in for fishing internationally. We host a lot of RV tours that come up on their way to Churchill to see the polar bears. So there's a lot of those hidden things, but definitely our major festivals put us on the map and put Dauphin out in the media again as well. So if people want any more information on Tourism Dauphin or other ways to get a hold of you guys, just in case they are making the trip up into Manitoba's Parkland, how can they get a hold of you?
The best place to get a hold of us is go to our website. So if you go to www.tourismdauphin.ca, or else click on our Facebook link as well too. So we can definitely help you out and give us a call too.
So if you're coming down to Dauphin, Carissa is one of the people that can help you. And we're going to go to break. Thanks for watching the Safeway Championship.
Come on, Goldie, really put your hips into it.
The Winnipeg Gold Eyes. For more information, visit goldeyes.com.
Safeway Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba Canola Growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
Open Nature, made from natural ingredients. Exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannys.ca for recipe ideas.
Future kings and queens, find your way somehow in sight and mind. We will find a blessing or a curse. Wait out in the wings and we will see. We will be the sky's wedded sand of dreams and trees. Quicksand and falling stars. Open up your eyes and find your way.
Welcome back to the Water Right Pregame Show here on Shaw TV. I'm joined by the two guys that arguably make it happen here at Dauphin's Credit Union Place. I've got Greg Thompson on my left, Ray Baker on my right. They're the co-chairs of the Safeway Championship this year. Ray, you got a little bit more on your schedule, though. You're also curling in this thing. How's the balance between work and, I guess, more work?
Well, you know what, it's been really exciting. Actually, it's been a lot of fun to curl in our own town and get involved that way. Also, I'm very fortunate to have a co-chair like Greg Thompson who's able to sort of pick up where I left off and take over some of my duties. So it's gone quite well.
All right, Greg, so talk about, Ray says it's going quite well. What was the process like to kind of go from the bid itself to bringing it all to reality?
Basically, it was a case where we put together a group of volunteers that some of them had experience from 5 years ago. And we added a few more people to the mix, and we put together a group of about 15 curling enthusiasts who are committee chairs, who in turn went out and recruited about 250 more volunteers. So we have a great group of volunteers, and our mission is to make sure that everybody has a good time.
And you know what? I've been here for I guess a day now, and I'm having a good time. So hopefully everybody else is as well. Ray, I guess I'll bring you back into the conversation. What was the biggest challenge you guys faced when it came to getting things ready to go?
Well, there's a lot of details, a lot of organizational stuff that needs to get done underway. To a certain degree, we were pretty fortunate because we also ran this event in 2007. We were fairly successful with it, so we had a lot to build on from them. Some of the challenges were to not be complacent, make sure that we due diligence and everything, and make sure we got out there, worked, and got the fans out.
All right, so I guess, Greg, as the week goes on, obviously, there's going to be challenges that come forth. What's the big thing for you guys to make sure that you guys stay on top of it? Are there any challenges that you guys are anticipating already as the week goes on?
We're not anticipating any problems. Our needs basically revolve around the time clock and making sure that things run on schedule. We've got nightly entertainment in our Country Fest saloon to get the people from the stands in the arena to the saloon afterwards, and fill out their whole day and make sure that everybody takes advantage of everything we have to offer this week.
And the saloon, well, I might have to stop by there a little bit later. Ray, I guess one more question. With these morning draws and afternoon draws, we have the schools coming out. Talk about what that does for curling in the city of Dauphin.
Well, you know what? It's a great event for the city of Dauphin. The kids get to come out and watch some of the best curlers in the world going at it. And the atmosphere in here is good. The kids add a lot to that. We've got a great fan base. It's a lot of fun.
For sure. That's Ray Baker and Greg Thompson, the two event co-chairs. We're going to go to break. Thanks for watching the Safeway Championship on Shaw TV.
Come on, Goldie, really put your hips into it.
The Winnipeg Goldeyes. For more information, visit goldeyes.com.
Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Safeway, proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Brought to you by Email Direct. For more information, visit safewaychampionship.ca.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannies.ca for recipe ideas.
Canadians are crazy about curling, and so are their kids. Thanks to the Capital One Rocks and Rings program, thousands of kids across Canada have learned about curling in their elementary schools. From coast to coast, Rocks and Rings has kids screaming, "Hurry hard!" and having a great time doing it. Our instructors get kids active and excited to learn about a new sport. The kids love it, the teachers love it, and the best part is, the whole program comes to you. To get Rocks and Rings in your school, visit rocksandrings.com.
Welcome back to the Waterite pregame show here at Dauphin's Credit Union Place at the Safeway Championship. I'm Mitchell Clinton, joined again by the voices coming out of your television. Resby Coots on my right, Don Finkbeiner to my extreme right. And guys, we looking at the action from yesterday, Mike McEwen having a tough go getting through his first round just really speaks to the level of competition that is here, regardless of what seed you have.
Truly does. Mike was perhaps caught a little bit by surprise being the number 2 seed. He talked about that before the event. He talked about having to play his game and not being drawn down, if that's the word, to play the game of the other team. But credit to the Taves team. They played a wonderful game. Mike had to make that last shot to win.
And a lot of, I guess we're coming up in the game today. We have Jason Gunnlaugson, Jerry Chudley. What kind of teams are these guys? I guess we'll start with Don Finkbeiner down there with Jason Gunnlaugson.
Well, Jason Gunnlaugson, this is going to be a treat, actually. Jason is one of the great shooters in the game, and he's a charismatic young guy, and he's got a really, really good team. He's got the Bohm brothers and Irving. The Bohm brothers made it to the final a few years back. But Jason is a treat to watch, and he's going to be really, really enjoyable, and he really goes after it. So it'll be, Chudley has his work cut out for him with this team.
And I guess, Resby, your thoughts on the Chudley team?
Well, the Chudley team is much like Jared Colomea's team was yesterday in that they are all but one of them rookies at this event. They handled their first game very well. Last night when they played Terry McNamee, the favored team, the Chudley team took the game to them and won that game to advance to today's draw. There will be a lot of rocks in play. I don't know them intimately in that I haven't watched a lot of the Chudley team, but I'm told they will play with a lot of rocks in play, and so it will be entertaining.
And you talk about the entertainment value of having all those rocks in play. Now, I guess what's going to be the main thing that's going to separate these two teams today?
In the end, Jason Gunnlaugson and the fact that he can play the kinds of shots we see on television all the time, the double raises, the triple raises, the angle wicks, his imagination allows him to see the shots, his ability allows him to make them.
And I guess, having the three rookies, like you mentioned, Don, picking up that big win against McNamee yesterday, is that something that these guys can feed on going into a game against Gunnlaugson?
Well, yeah, of course, remember, this is the big-time show for them, too, and it'll be a little nerve-wracking for them. And, again, Jason has some advantage over them because of his experience in that, and as Resby indicated, he's such a showman out there, and he likes to try some interesting things. But for Chudley, he says, I won my first, why not win my second? Just take it one step at a time.
For sure. So now you've heard Resby and Don talk about these players. We're going to hear from them right now. The player introductions are brought to you by Geldwen Window and Doors, reliability for real life.
I'm Jason Gunnlaugson. My third is David Bone. My second is Dennis Bone. Our lead is Andrew Irving, and we're from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Hi, I'm Jerry Chudley from the Neepawa Curling Club. My third is Kevin Cooley. My second is Kyle Swisco, and my lead is Paul Robertson.
Well, and as Don Finkbeiner has called it, the gondola at Dauphin Credit Union Place, the first end is underway. This end is brought to you by Granny's Poultry. Great taste, healthy living. We started with the draw to the button for Hammer at the end of practice. Both teams bit the button, Don Finkbeiner. Jason Gunnlaugson hit the out-turn side of the button. Jerry Chudley hit his out-turn side of the button. We have another left-hander. But Gunnlaugson has last rock, and we can expect to see a fairly conservative style of play for the first end.
Well, that's right. Just a fraction closer to that. The center of the button is what they did in that. But it's a big advantage for Gunnlaugson having last rock in the first end. It is for everybody, but of course in this game, of course, with Gunnlaugson.
Well, we've got the first two rocks in play. The Paul Robertson, who is Kelly Robertson's son. Kelly played this morning, lost on the morning draw, the Canadian senior champion. Paul is his son. He threw a first rock guard just shy of the rings, and Gunnlaugson immediately went to the side with an Andrew Irving draw with two rocks in play short of the rings, and Robertson has been asked to draw immediately 4 foot behind his own guard, and the game is on, Don.
Right, and you can see from yesterday's game, we have a tremendous swing in the ice here. Like yesterday, the draws were moving 6 feet, and you can take a look at the broom that Gunnlaugson is showing here. The 5 to 6 feet of ice initially to start. It's just a tremendous swing in that. And the teams will be familiar with it now, but yesterday you could see teams struggled with that a little bit because it's just hard to believe that it'll move that much. But it adds a great deal to the game when you have ice that moves this much. So it's just ideal for spectacular curling and great for viewing.
One of the things I want to mention, Don, and it goes back to your era of competition. Jason's grandfather Lloyd always went by the moniker Gunner. At least everybody called him that, and everybody calls Jason Gunner. And you're probably going to see that on the throughout the broadcast because it's just a whole lot simpler than Gunnlaugson.
That's right. Actually, for those of us who've been around a long time and watched the game, they'll remember Lloyd Gunnlaugson. I think it was 1983 when he beat John Bubs in the final for the provincials in a masterful game of curling. Lloyd was one of the true great curling minds. He tried to keep the game simple and let the other team beat themselves, basically, is the way he would play. And Lloyd is so Jason's grandfather is quite a legend of curling.
But a different style than Jason.
Well, of course, and the ice conditions dictate that, of course.
Second, Dennis Bone removes the center guard. Jerry Chudley has a pair of rocks in play, one in the 4 foot, one in the side of the 8 foot, partially covered. Given the swing of the ice, it's not particularly well covered, but Kyle Swisco at second. for the Chudley team who play the guard.
Yeah, what's interesting now is when you play a guard, because of the way the ice swings so much, this is a very, very difficult shot. What is perceived to be an easy shot is very difficult on ice that swings as much. There's so little room for error to be able to guard that rock that's in the house that he's attempting to, because it swings so much. And you can see he's a little bit out here, and maybe a little bit too much weight's coming right into the house. So this is not what he wanted. He did not want to come into the house on this shot. Actually, almost through. So not a good shot for a guard.
Don, the time clocks changed this year. We show the clocks there. Historically at the Safeway Championship and the Manitoba Championships, we've used the full game timing, 73 minutes to play the game. The change this year to what's called thinking time, which the guys on the Grand Slam Tour have used a lot over the years. They have a little more experience. Jason Gunnlaugson would have experience with it, but it's now timing just the time the rocks are not in play, the so-called thinking time, because that really is the time that needs to be sped up in the sport of curling. The consultations between lead and skip have gotten a little, and that's not the deliberate reason, but it certainly is the fact.
But precisely as we're watching the game now, this is the thinking time right now. This is being clocked, right? Until this rock is delivered, this time is being accumulated on behalf of the Chudley team. Once this rock is released,
actually at the tee line,
it stops right at the tee line. And now this is not being timed right
now. Each team has 42 minutes. We won't belabor the time issue too much, but as the game goes on towards the end of the game, time can always become a factor, and if need be, we can come back.
Well, I think it was a very positive change, because it did, for teams that were trying to make comebacks when they're down, they were throwing lightweight draws, obviously, in guards, and that, where other teams were playing takeouts, so it was not really a fair assessment of time utilization, but now it's much better.
David Bone at third for Jason Gunnlaugson, playing the out-turn hit on the rock, biting the button.
You see there, well, you can tell they misjudged that a bit. He wanted to get a hit and roll on that. And you'll see as this shot is shown again, you'll see just here they should have been on it just a little bit earlier. Jason a little upset at himself for not getting the boys on that a little earlier. They had to roll and cross towards the face of the other shot. Now the onus is on the Chudley team can do the same thing. They can hit and roll in behind, or even hit and roll to the more open side. Well, he certainly got the roll, but will he roll too much? Yes.
Kevin Cooley at third for Jerry Chudley is a guy that they're going to rely a lot on in this game. He is the one of the four players who have experience at this level. He's got a pretty interesting record of appearances over, this is now his fifth. In his previous four, he played with Alan Fleming out of Wawanesa. He played for Brian Fowler, one of the fine shooters from Western Manitoba. And he also played twice in this event with Mike McEwen, in Mike McEwen's first 2 years out of junior.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So he's played with veteran players and also youthful players too, so very interesting. Here's a key shot early in the game. They want to get in there. They do not want to move this rock back. They want to come down to it. It still allows the Chudley team to come down to it and get shot, move it back, as indicated here, and get shot rock here.
We're going over to look at Dave Elias, Dean Dunstone. Dean Dunstone with last rock in the first end of that game. You see he's playing the hit on a rock in the top of the 8-foot circle. Dunstone does have a biter in the back corner of the rings, and so this is a hit for two for Dean Dunstone against Dave Elias. But as you can see, he hits and rolls away. Lost opportunity for Elias.
That's a tough one for him, because those are sort of gift points. There's not difficult points; those are gift points, and it's a real downer when I think the goal of everybody right off the bat, if you can get a deuce in the first end, give up one, take another deuce, you're off to the races. And that's sort of the theory that curlers try to do. They don't realistically think they're going to get fours or fives, but they think you get a deuce in the first end, you're off to a great start. So it's a real downer not to get it.
different kind of an end in our first game, our first end here between Gunnlaugson and Chudley, and that was an open end, Dunstone and Elias. This has turned into a draw game right from the get-go. Chudley had the opportunity to draw past that guard to the face of the Gunnlaugson stone biting the forefoot, rubbed the guard, so now sits cornered onto the red Gunnlaugson stone. Gunnlaugson with the hammer has an opportunity here to score 2 or 3.
Well, if we listen to the conversation here, it sounds like they just want a little bit of what we would call like chap and lie, a little hit and roll, just a slight roll to the left in front of his own red one. He does not want to. He doesn't want to hit it straight back and sort of tick his other red one out of the way a bit, which would leave him only lying 1. So this is a key shot for if he gets this nice little hit and roll, he's nicely, at least partially guarded in there, and a good opportunity for 2, possibly even 3. This will really put the heat on Chudley if he makes this. What you like about Jason here, he's talking to his front end, telling him exactly what he wants to do weight-wise.
Rolled perhaps too far.
Maybe it's pretty tight.
Certainly rolled further than he wanted.
But you can see this is the difference between a Jason Gunnlaugson and some of the others like we saw yesterday for the weight on hits. That is very, very soft weight, controlled weight. They did judge it slightly wrong. Otherwise, he's got a perfect shot, because if they'd swept that a little harder, he had a perfect shot. Now he's set up a bit of a pocket. But you can see it's interesting to watch the weight that he will throw on hits versus perhaps the Chudley team.
Chudley throws the draw, his last rock. He faces the 1, possibly 2. He has to settle this draw in on top of that rock in the corner of the 4-foot circle to prevent the 2, maybe 3.
He doesn't want to set up a combination where Jason can hit it back on his others, spill them all out, and get a 3 either. So let's see how this ends.
Paul Robertson and Kyle Swisco are the sweepers for Chudley. I'd have to say that's a 4-point shot.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just looking at it. Can Jason get by enough that he can hit it back onto his own, spill it out, and get the 3? You see, if he hits just on the Safeway, if you get in the E on the Safeway, if he hits there just slightly across the center, he might be able to spill it out.
Very well could. Nice use of the sponsor recognition, by the way.
Very well. Yeah, it's excellent. It's a perfect place for the sponsor.
But he will try to come out of this with more than the one that Chudley is hopeful he's forced him to take.
Well, it's coming off this in the wrong way. It's going to be tough getting that one out. You want to try it?
I'm not sure we can't just make it look even. If we touch it, but it's 3.
You liking that?
I'm going to see how much I can see.
Is he even looking at the guard raised back? But he's looking at how tight it is to the guard. Can he get by there across the face, just a touch, and get it?
An interesting last shot on the first end of the game.
Very much so. Yeah, it's excellent.
An interesting dynamic on the team. You've got the Bone brothers, who were the finalists 2 or 3 years ago. You've got Andrew Irving, who is a successful Manitoba champion as a skip.
So you're right, but here he is going for that front. This is great to see. He's got the confidence to do it. Whether he make it or not, we'll soon find out. Great try.
The Riverboat Gambler.
No, it was a great try, but you could see he was there.
Gunnlaugson scores 1. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV and Westman. And we're going to go to an interview with Jason Gunnlaugson.
Gunnlaugson. Now, Jason, I guess going into this game, what's going to be your guys' strategy that at the outset, anyways, obviously curling strategies change throughout the game, but at the outset, what are you guys looking to do out there?
I think it really will depend who has hammer. If we get the hammer, we'll probably go after them pretty early in the game. If not, we'll take it maybe a little bit easy, but I'd expect Roxon playing the first couple ends for sure. And
did you guys gain any momentum just from being in Dauphin, getting that first win, moving on, moving forward, and getting into the second round? Does that help your team and get some confidence going in? Oh, it's sure a heck of a lot better than the inverse. Yeah, no, it was a really nice game, and everybody played really solid, so I think it gives us a lot of confidence. The ice is basically perfect, so be lots of opportunity to make some good shots. Perfect.
We're back in the Dauphin Credit Union Place, the second end of this game between Gunnlaugson and Chudley, brought to you by Water Right, proud supporter of Manitoba's Provincial Curling Championship. Lots of fun in the first end on Finkbeiner, and nearly a spectacular shot. Great to see him try it.
Well, actually, this is what's so interesting about watching Jason, is that he is a real thinker out there. He will try things that others won't even look at, you see, but he's open to just so many different possibilities. That rock, if it doesn't come up quite as much, he makes it. It came up a fraction. It comes up a quarter of an inch less. He's probably got that 3 there. But that's what's so entertaining about Jason is the way he visualizes the game. He's like Gretzky did in hockey. He sees things that others don't see, and that's why it's interesting. So he is fun to watch. He's truly one of the youthful young minds of the game, and he's taken the game to another level of sophistication in a way. So he is fun, and for Chudley, this is a real challenge, and he'll play a little more basic game on that. But it'll be quite fascinating to watch the two of them.
An opportunity of a lifetime for 38-year-old Jerry Chudley to be out here with Jason Gunnlaugson and watch this guy and maybe beat him.
Oh, and of course. Well, we saw in the first game with the local favorite here, Taze, taking Mike McEwen, arguably the #1 team in the world, taking him to Last Rock. So good old curling in Manitoba.
Let's do Reading the Ice, brought to you by Safeway, ingredients for life. Don, tell us about the ice.
Well, when we look at the swing, now we were seeing it if you're looking at the ice and coming around guards and that, we were looking at it like up to 6 feet yesterday. I think it depends on the amount of turn the guys have, but we're looking 4 feet to 6 feet depending on the rotation of the rock. Now we'll explain that a little later, but no matter where you come from on this ice, it's so perfect. It's Hans Woothridge. He's made such ideal ice conditions that you can see the swing in the ice very, very consistent.
Reading the Ice, brought to you by Safeway, ingredients for life. And what about the time on these shots? Hog time, hog to hog, 14.5. Hog to stop, 24.5. Split time, about 3.85. Very similar to yesterday. I think we'll find that the ice won't swing quite as much today. I know the ice makers often try to bring it back a little from the first day, thinking they can take a little swing out a lot easier than they can put more in.
Yeah, it's exactly like talking to Hans, is reeling it in. And for those curlers, that if you ever get a chance to meet Hans Woothridge and the sophistication, the scientific approach he takes to making ice, it's just absolutely amazing. And he has elevated the game of curling, in my opinion. He's made it into such a phenomenal spectator sport because of his ability to make ice that's consistent and that it moves a bit. And he's made godlike legends out of a lot of curlers because of his ice conditions, in my opinion. But I think, as you mentioned at in the top of the show, Resby, that there will be a lot of rocks in play, and we're going to certainly see that from both teams' point of view.
And you can see that already this end. 5 rocks have been played, only 1 behind the rings. The Chudley rock, we have a Gunnlaugson guard in front of 2 Gunnlaugson rocks in the 12-foot biting the 8-foot, and a lone Chudley rock in the 4-foot behind, and he's already thinking, what is this guy trying to do to me? He wants to get a little split on that one and push it deeper behind the guards and roll open to the open side.
Well, what happens on these ideal ice conditions is the teams that have played a lot of it tend to build the end from the top backwards. They'll put rocks up front, utilizing them later to make raises later to the rock. They don't worry about a shot rock that what we're seeing in there in the top of the 4-foot. They'll put things in front of it. Curling club ice, you don't do it that way. And in the rock coming down now, he's got too much weight, and he's going to go right through the house. And this is a really bad error, because even if he's light of the house, he's fine. You know, but you don't want to go through it. And you can see, we see coming down here, you can see right there the sweepers know it's got too much weight. It's unforgiving. You know, it's consistent. There's, you know, that's 10 feet more weight than he needed, easily.
Don, as a long-time lead myself, I know the feeling of watching as the sweepers get further and further behind the rock, because they know I've just thrown it through the rings.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. There's an outstanding shot right there.
There's the example of what you were talking about. Put those rocks high. Eventually, sooner or later, you're going to play the tap back.
You utilize them, yes, different ways. And even when you looked at what Jason tried in the first end, the raises, you can see here's in the replay on this. You can see here it's just simply hit it on that angle, and you got it. I suppose the only criticism, you maybe just a touch heavier, and he would have got the yellow rock right out of the house. But he's moved it out of the 4-foot.
2 Gunnlaugson stones behind the single guard. Chudley has no choice but to remove the guard.
See, for Jason, just to keep guarding this, he's looking at without last rock. He wants to try and steal. He wants to put some heat on the Chudley team. Just keep the pressure on them and challenge them. If they want to come in behind his guard, so be it. He feels comfortable enough with his last rock to come in. His goal is to either steal here or keep Chudley down to a 1. This looks a little warm. Starting to come down now a little bit, but maybe a little tighter than they wanted. A lot tighter than they wanted, actually.
Chudley will take a run at it. All 3 of those would pop if he hits it right.
If they got good strong weight, he hits a quarter of that rock, all 3 should go.
This is third man, Kevin Cooley.
See, for Jason, that's two misplaced guards in the last 2 shots. One going through the house and this one coming into the house when it should have been out front.
Whoa!
Oh, baby. Okay.
Just too much of a jam on that second one.
Came up just a little too much. Needed to hit less of the top rock. Gunnlaugson now planning to remove that yellow stone, and it'll become a somewhat more ordinary end.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they do obviously want to hit and stick right there. He does not want to hit and roll towards the center, allowing the Chudley team an opportunity for a double. So the key is hit and stick right there.
Clean. Yep. Hard. Hurry. Hurry, hurry. Really hard. Hurry! Hurry!
Get a little bit of a roll here, maybe roll out. Not bad, but again, what he does now is he sets up a potential double for the Chudley team. He did not want to hit and roll there. Better than, of course, rolling out, but there is now an easier potential for a double.
You heard David won't tell his guys good sweep. He knows that they kept that rock.
Yeah, he saved it a bit there. That's the beauty. If you throw fairly quiet takeout weight, your sweepers can do something about it.
Kevin Cooley playing now the run back.
Okay.
Again, he came a little too much, got it too square.
Yeah, coming across the face just a little too much. And for Jason, he wants to hit the stick right there.
Easy?
Yeah, he doesn't want to hit and roll towards the center of the house. He wants to hit and stick right there. Missed opportunity for the Chudley team to make the double there, but anybody who's curled, you often get that. Just came across, maybe played it, maybe just a tight inside.
Gunnlaugson will play the hit.
Again, listen to Gunnlaugson, all that he's always chattering with his team. And some people say maybe that's too much. No, not at all. He's letting his sweepers know exactly what he wants this rock to do. And it's perfect.
Really hard. For peace.
Good sweep.
See, it's nice controlled weight, but that's not much weight on that. But you can see the sweepers really controlled that because he was a little inside there.
And Gunnlaugson's now got the situation the way he wants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, just a minute ago, we showed you the final shot of the first end, Dean Dunstone hitting and rolling out. Dave Elias took advantage of that, came back with a hit to score a 3, and that's, you can't let that happen. You can't give up the 2 and then the 3.
Well, when we talked about Dunstone rolling out, you could see he just looked down a bit, missed opportunities for the deuce, and then all of a sudden it reflects on the next end, and maybe that's what, as a result, psychologically, they were a little upset for not getting their easy 2, and then now they give up a 3, makes it even worse. The easy 2 looks even worse now.
That'll be an interesting game as it unfolds. Chudley playing hit on the rock in the center of the rings, but rolls away.
But it'll be interesting to watch. You see the difference between the Chudley and Gunnlaugson about the weight they throw. The Chudley's a much more weight. What you would see, what Chudley throws is what you see most curlers throw, unless they've had the experience of playing on this ice a lot. And you'll see, when you watch Gunnlaugson, you'll see McEwen and Stoughton and these guys throw that really light, controllable weight. And I'll tell you, you got to play a lot on this kind of ice to be able to have the confidence to do that. And the majority of the field don't play enough to be able to throw that kind of lightweight hit. And it'll be interesting to see how the two of them, the results are because of this.
That heavyweight hit must be more precise if you're going to keep it in the ring.
Precisely, because if you're a little bit off, it just rolls out so easy. Whereas the lightweight you can control and it won't roll as far.
So Gunnlaugson is trying to put this back in virtually the same spot, thinking he rolled out the first time. If we put it back for him to hit it again, maybe he rolls out again and we steal one.
Why wouldn't we cover the full top?
Hitting's harder.
Hey?
I think hitting's harder. I want to make sure he hits.
I don't think he draws us too well.
Today's perfect.
Yeah. See, Jason's thinking exactly what you just said. He just wants to put it back in the same place. You've already missed there. He has to question himself. The tendency sometimes, what happens is because you roll out coming across the face, maybe you step up the weight a little bit, and he'll maybe run straight. So Jason's thinking maybe he'll overcompensate and then roll out the other way. So, but for Chudley's point of view, he's probably best to maybe just quiet it down just a little bit, let the sweepers control it a little more.
Clean. Yeah. Gotta go.
Robertson and Swisco with the sweep. Nose hit.
Dead on, perfect.
Didn't really dampen down the weight, but
no, true.
We will go to our break. It is tied 1-1. Chudley and Gunnlaugson. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV and Westman. And now we're going to hear from Jerry Chudley.
Yesterday and how that leads confidence for you guys going into this game.
Well, we played fairly well, so pretty happy with everybody's performance. So we're hoping the momentum carries over today and keep it rolling.
For sure. And James. Anyways, so basically talking about the strategy going into this game. Obviously, your strategy is going to change throughout. But what kind of things are you going into it thinking that you want to try to do to the Gunnlaugson team?
Well, we want to try and keep it close. We know they can hit very good, so we don't want them to get a 3 or 4 point lead on us, because we know it's going to be tough. So I think we gotta try and keep it fairly close throughout, and try and hopefully make some draws instead of hitting everything, I guess.
That's Jerry Chudley of the Chudley team that's going to be taking on Jason Gunnlaugson. For more, we're going to go up top to Resby and Don.
We're back with end number 3. Jason Gunnlaugson, Jerry Chudley, 1-1 after 2. The third end is brought to you by McMahon & Yates, building across Manitoba. Paul Robertson, first rock of the third end. I must admit, Don, I didn't see the call, but I'm guessing that Jerry Chudley might play this in the rings.
Well, yeah, I didn't see the call either, but we'll soon find out. But it's pretty conservative to play it into the rings. There's no doubt about it. But I think he's just he doesn't want to give Jason too many chances. But so obviously you were right, and the call is to play it in the rings. Jason will ignore this and just go up front.
Yeah, they put the full sweep on it, so there's that rock could have been left just short.
Also the aggression of the end is determined by Jason here, because if he wanted to play it simple, he would just simply hit that rock in the house. But no, he's looking at more than just getting one or even trying to blank it in. He wants to try and build for 2 or 3. And of course, with free guard zone, that's the way you have to do it.
Andrew Irving's first rock, the tight corner guard.
But you see how much it curled in there. That's a little further over than they wanted. It's a little closer to the house than they wanted it to. You'd like that a lot higher, and halfway between the house and the hog, perhaps. And came in a little too much for him on that one.
As Paul Robertson released that rock, you could see, I don't know if it was a deliberate effort or if Paul has a lot of rotation on his rock, but there was the good rotation. These guys have learned that lesson, that you have to have the good rock rotation.
Well, yeah, otherwise it just takes off on you like crazy. Anyone with just a slow rotation, it's just going to dive on you near the end. It's going to, the ice is moving a great deal in the first place. You can see here now Jason will ignore that. He still wants to be able to utilize the guard. Despite the fact that it's quite a tight guard, he'll still ignore that to try and come down to it, build for the back end, either himself or Bohm is third to make some raisebacks a little later in the end.
Out-turn draw from lead Andrew Irving, Bohm brothers, sweepers.
It's an excellent shot.
Jerry Chudley deciding that he can remove that rock from the center line that Andrew Irving just threw by playing off the guard.
It's going to be close.
Now that's what you call a bad break.
Yeah, a bad break. They had to come up another inch or so, and he gets what he wants. Otherwise, now it's been a problem. If we see this again, you just see what happened. It's really unfortunate. They should have been off it there. So it's sort of a bit of a missed call and misjudge. You can see that. Just such a fraction, otherwise he gets the red rock.
Opportunity now for Gunnlaugson. They'll draw to the open side.
So what Jason wants to do now is put a little, sort of a little decoy over onto the side here and force Chudley into going after the open shot. So take it over to this side, get it on the tee line away from that center guard, and force Chudley to go after it. You want to get it right in there for shot rock. So I'm going to force Chudley to go after it. Some players, there are teams that are really Mississippi gamblers who would ignore that and come in behind the guards and get everything in play. But what he wants, Chudley would like to hit, but if he hits and rolls, he rolls in behind the tee line and he gets to the back of the house. So
here's a situation. In this situation, in fact, Jason Gunnlaugson might play the draw.
Oh, exactly. He could have, but I think he wants to wait till a little later in the end.
Throw. Chudley rolls to the back of the button.
Now Jason still, because of the swing in the ice, he can hit. Well, he still wants to decoy that out. He wants to hit it and roll to the outside rather than roll in. If he rolls in behind, he leaves a bit of a pocket. So by rolling off to the side, he's forcing Chudley to go after it and then hope for a rollout and then come in behind. This is his master plan to set up for a deuce. Well, as he indicated, that's not what he wanted, because now Chudley has a chance to hit, and it's moved up a bit. Now he can hit and roll in behind and still be above the tee line, biting the button. So for Bohm, the idea was to roll away from there.
Third man Kevin Cooley, and he, as you say, Don, he can roll to the center line, a little across the center line, and he's above the tee line, which is the desirable position.
For Kevin, he's got to make sure he's got that good controlled weight that they can do something with. That kept fairly straight there, because boy, that looked like he was going to move in there. He threw a nice controlled weight on that, I thought. But they even have to throw a little quieter than that.
And he jumped the sweeping on it with a little later start to the sweep. He might have lost it. It certainly might have got the roll.
True.
David Bohm playing third for Jason Gunnlaugson.
Clean, hard. Hard. Wall. Never.
See, in this situation now, you can't play that hit and roll in behind because it's perfect, but both of them are just a little frustrating. This is where it gets really frustrating, because you're going, they've given me a chance, I got to take it now. They've not taken the opportunity to get the hit and roll. Now he's giving it back again, so it's who gets in there first is the key here.
They have to get a little tighter to that
guard,
yellow
each
guard,
time, yes,
and
true.
Each time, and sooner or later you rub it. That's the risk. Kevin Cooley's second shot of the end.
It's a little further out on this one here. It's just, I don't think he's going to get the hit and roll. It's going to roll he's rolled just a fraction. Now allowing Bohm to hit. Well, he's good. Jason wants to now, see, it's getting too further up the ice here a bit. So he figures, let's not roll in behind, because then that gives Chudley a chance to come in behind it.
There's the case, Don, where a series of hits all on the nose have moved us 4 to 5 feet further ahead. Originally they were trying to hit and would have rolled behind the tee line, and now they can't even roll to the 4th.
Yeah, so they have to change their strategy slightly.
Go! Jeez, I thought you got cleared.
Now there's still a chance to hit and roll in here.
But it's got to be perfect, because otherwise it leaves that tap up around the other side, because the Gunnlaugson stone is poking out for the outturn tap back if they do roll, unless they're absolutely perfect.
That's true. But as you mentioned, by each hit has moved that rock further up the sheet, and what was in the 4-foot now is just biting the 12-foot in the full 8.
Jerry Chudley, who has shown us in the previous end a tendency to throw a little bit more weight than the other players have been throwing in this situation. But he has scaled back his weight.
This one's moving on him a little bit here. We'll see how it. He got a break.
Well, he got the rub on the guard that I talked about.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this case,
that's the best thing that could have happened for him. Well, watch this one again. As you can see, when he comes down here, he's actually he gets a really lucky break, ticks the guard there, and now rolls in behind.
And this is it again.
What? Yeah, but he just goes here anyway when we do that, and it's scary.
He probably would have gone through the hole there by the looks of things. So a real break for the Chudley team.
And a real break in where he ended up, because he did end up where the Gunnlaugson team can't play the tap on the red guard. He's actually, it couldn't have got a better result.
No, you're absolutely right. Now Jason has to do a little damage control here and actually raise this back onto his own, onto the Chudley rock, and hope that he doesn't leave the Chudley raised back one in the house. So what he's looking for, what he initially was trying to get was a deuce. Now he's hoping to be able to get a chance to even blank the end. Watch the spinner he throws. Look at the weight he throws on these kind of shots. It's just... See, that's the danger of that, is he left. Not only that, he leaves the center guard, and he had to spill the two of them out of there. So bit of a turnaround here, a bit of a bad break, a good break for Chudley. And watch Jason, but watch, if you can get a chance, watch the spin on the, well, it's hard to tell on there. This is the Chudley shot.
This is that tick again, it was so much fun.
So now we got a good opportunity for Chudley. Now he's got a chance to now come in behind the lie to force Jason to at least take a one, and possibly a good chance here for Chudley to steal if he puts it in there nicely.
Hans Withridge is telling me that the ice shouldn't be swinging more than 4 or 4.5 feet if you've got the proper rotation. So if this is well rotated, it won't go full behind, but I'm guessing that the lazy left-hander release will bring it behind.
He's got an ideal shot there, perfect shot.
Absolutely perfect.
So he's forcing Jason, he's got to draw to the button, or full 4. So a fortunate break for Chudley on his first one. Otherwise, it looked like Jason was almost set up for a 3.
He was.
Yeah, and then now it just shows you how things can turn around with a little bit of a lucky rub. But Jason has a refreshing attitude towards these things. A lot of curlers get very frustrated when they perceive what Chudley did was a bit of a fluke, and it upsets them, and it dictates the way their attitude towards their last rub. But Jason sort of shrugged that off.
Hurry, guys!
So
hard, guys!
Gunnlaugson's draw has to be full 4 foot. He's
got to make sure that he gets in at least for second shot.
Didn't make it.
He may even have given up a deuce.
Chudley appears to have stolen 2. Before we go to a break, Don, we're going to show you what happened. We've been watching Dunstone and Elias, and here's a big hit, slash double kill, you'd call it, for a pair. To kill a pair, maybe score 3 or 4, but watch here, broken handle, Terran Gazelle goes down, but watch the result of this rock. Bang, bang, 3 yellows in the rings, and now the officials have to sort out
did he touch the
situation. We'll go to break. It is 3-1 for Chudley over Gunnlaugson. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV and Westmath.
Because he was probably with a really good fellow, probably trying to get 2 anyway.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannys.ca for recipe ideas.
Safeway, proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Brought to you by Email Direct. For more information, visit safewaychampionship.ca.
Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Safeway Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba Canola Growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
Even if you don't have insurance, your dentist can help you get the dental care you need.
Your dentist can help you assess the benefits of treatment and the consequences of avoiding it before any decisions are made, whether you're insured or not.
Only your dentist has the education and expertise to diagnose and treat all of your oral health needs.
To find out more, visit manitobadentist.ca.
Talk to your dentist. Good for you. Good for life.
We're back at Dauphin Credit Union Place. The Safeway Championship, this fourth end, is brought to you by Manitoba Liquor Marts, proud supporters of Manitoba's roaring game. Jerry Chudley steals a pair to go up 3-1 on Jason Gunnlaugson after the third end. And just to close the loop on that shot we showed you from Dunstone and Elias, when Taryn Gazelle's brush broke, clearly the rock was burned, although he did a contortion job to get out of the way. Elias has stolen a point. The rock, it was a double kill in that situation. The first one was at least third shot, not counting. They removed the shot stone, but it counts, and it's a steal of one for Elias. He leads 4-1.
I believe in that. Dunstone would have got a 3, did it look like? What a turnaround that is, isn't it? When we talked about this earlier, about the first end giving up an easy deuce, and then this kind of thing happens. They probably are saying to themselves, what more can go wrong here?
It shows you the pressure that these sweepers put on these brush handles. You don't see them break often, but wow, that one snapped right
like
off.
A hockey player here, when you watch the Jets play, and you see broken sticks all the time. Now this was an interesting turnaround in our game here with Chudley. What appeared to be with Chudley getting a real lucky break on his first rock. He kicks a little more of that guard. He misses it totally, and Jason's probably set up for a 2 or 3. And then all of a sudden, now because of that, it's been a steal of 2. So a complete turnaround when Jason had full control of that end. What will be interesting here is what that does for the mental approach for the Gunnlaugson team. Jason, we've seen enough of that we know he's quite positive about these things. But sometimes his teammates will just see how they react to this, because it's definitely an unanticipated bad break. Instead of being up maybe 2 or 3-1, they are now down 3-1. It is early, but what will that do to the psyche of the Gunnlaugson team?
Flip side, of course, what does it do for the Chudley team as well? They're now all of a sudden leading when they expected to be chasing for a while.
Well, it's a momentum swing, sure. And you see it in sport all the time, and it's a great boost for Chudley, going, oh, gee, this turned out pretty sweet, but Jason, he's a patient kind of guy. As you can see, he's not running crazy here. He's going to try for some more guards.
Well, Jerry Chudley had played a guard with his second rock. It just slid into the top of the 12-foot circle, and some might say, well, why isn't he hitting it? Jason sees nothing to be accomplished by hitting it at this stage. He wants to go back to building the end, and he's putting a guard on his own guard.
Yeah, exactly. And he wants to use that side of the house. He'll put a guard over there to be used later. He's not playing here for 1. He's playing for a deuce for sure, maybe even a 3. Jason is a master strategist, there's no doubt about it, so we'll just see how he is. And as I say, the key is that his boys have to believe in him and just continue on.
Chudley, of course, wanting nothing to do with whatever Jason Gunnlaugsson's plan is, and he may not even be sure what his plan is, but he knows he doesn't want that guard out there.
Well, it'll be interesting because Jason will put the guard up again. He's going to another one here, but there's a time where Chudley will have to say to himself, maybe I'll just ignore the guard and come around and try and steal some more. And Jason has to be careful too, because he just doesn't want to put that one too many guards up front, allowing to. There's sort of a cat and mouse situation here, because Chudley may on his next rock say, when it gets down to thirds, then he could change his strategy. So there's a point where Jason will not necessarily play the guard. He may go for the rocks in the house here.
But not yet. Chudley will remove the guard.
He's going to wait at least until his third gets to shoot.
Second man, Kyle Swisco. The youngest of the guys on this team at the age of 28.
Nice shot, consistent.
Anything in here? Just short, it's fine.
Don, a testimony to the depth of curling in Manitoba. I look across these 5 sheets of ice. We have 5 A-side games. The winners here all advance into games tomorrow morning to advance. There is a Manitoba Canadian, Canadian, and world champion on at least one of these, on every one of these sheets of ice.
That's right. And we've got mixed champions. We've got like Grassi up here. We've got world champion Stoughton. We've got the top-ranked team in the world, McEwen. You're right. It shows the strength of Manitoba curling right here.
Ken Tresser playing with Dean Dunstone. And, of course, this is the opportunity to say we also have a Russian champion.
That's right. And most in the curling world are aware of Jason Gunnlaugson, but he was wooed into joining the Russian Curling Federation and became the Russian curling champion. They were building for the Olympics. And I guess things sort of fell apart a bit, but Jason is now back trying to get to the Worlds through what I would perceive a much tougher way. And getting the Olympics through the Canadian system, which is very, very difficult.
Kevin Cooley trying to duplicate the shot they missed on the previous end, coming off the guard to remove the Gunnlaugson stone that's in the top of the 8-foot. This time he rolls across the top of it.
Now for Jason, he's got himself a decent situation here. There's enough of his rocks that his second shot rock is ideally situated here. He knows it's very easy to get rid of the shot rock with a couple of double rays, or rays at least. Now let's just play a little bit off to the side here and build up the possibility for 2 or 3. So this is what his strategy is here. Just ignore the middle.
This is David Bone. Of course, when you look at the 2 Bone brothers, you can tell automatically which one is which. David, of course, is throwing this draw to the outside, wants to corner freeze on that rock out in the 12-foot circle.
He's got the correct weight, but they misjudged the ice a fair amount in there. Either David got a little outside on it, or Jason gave him a little too much ice, but it didn't come over as far as they wanted. It certainly was the correct weight.
Chudley will remove it. I suspect he wouldn't mind rolling to the center line.
Well, even he doesn't want to have too many rocks in play here too. He doesn't want to leave a bit of a pocket either. It's not a bad shot, but look at what it's done. It's allowing Jason a chance to come down to it. It's like it's a third shot. If it was second shot, it's a little different, or if it was touching the back of the 4-foot, that's different. But now it's something for Jason to come down to. So it's not that great a shot.
Jason Gunnlaugson continues to believe and plan to score a couple on this end. That rock that Dennis Bone threw earlier that's frozen to the shot stone is the one that will be the key to this entire end. David Bone's in-turn draw to the rock in the back of the 8-foot.
The sweepers have to make sure they get this one back. That's a pretty fine shot. But you can see this is just towards the end of that. It really starts to come in. Once it starts to break, it really comes in. Some nice sweeping there. And now they are sitting shot, but it is behind the tee line. So there is this opportunity for Chudley to come down to it. This is a very, very key shot. Because actually the rock's out front for Jason. He can make a raise back on the top yellow onto the red. And, you know, still be ideally situated with a deuce there.
Jerry Chudley is playing the same draw that David Bone just threw. I think he's taking a little bit more ice, probably knowing that, as I said before, that left-handed delivery is working just a little bit differently.
Not as much of rotation as perhaps David Bone too. So this is a very, very key shot. Looked a little tight for the broom on that. Nice shot. That's a great shot.
That's an excellent shot. He sits shot rock. He probably moved the red one back enough that he's actually laying two.
Okay, this is an interesting shot. Look at the combination here.
Yellow onto red, onto yellow, yellow, red onto yellow. And
he won't be able to remove the yellow shot rock, but what he'll be able to do here is possibly line second and third. So Jason didn't even hesitate. He sees this immediately.
He wants to play these shots.
I know.
Which is,
you're right.
Being able to, being willing to, and wanting to.
Now, watch the spin he puts on this. He cranks it.
Hurry! Harder! Hurry!
Not quite what. No, that's not what he wanted.
Not the result he wanted at all.
He was hoping to save his back one that just spun out. Now he's got himself in a bit of a jackpot here. Again, here it is coming down. You can just see just too much to get. The problem was that back red one he wanted to save, and that didn't happen. Now he's got himself in a little bit of a jackpot here again if Chudley hits and sticks here.
And Chudley will play a hit on it. Hits and sticks, he lies for, forces Gunnlaugson to draw for one.
The only thing wrong he can do is jam it, which means coming across the face.
Throw a little more weight than he has done on the gentler shots.
Well, he played that fairly conservatively just to make sure that he didn't jam it on that one. So he's still lying three. For Jason now, he's just simply ignoring it, and he wants to just draw in here. So again, Jason in his attempt to build the house up, but a couple of really, really great shots with Chudley. Well, Chudley in his third and his first one have nullified that attempt of a big end here for Jason.
Chudley will be gaining confidence from this end. He knows that the two he stole on the third end was fortuitous.
Bit fortunate, yes.
Bit fortunate. This they've earned this situation.
Oh, his first shot was brilliant. You know, that was a great shot, very, very hard shot. And he had to be there because if not, then he allows Jason a chance for a big end there.
Dennis Bone, Andrew Irving are the sweepers. Jason Gunnlaugson has to be half in the 4-foot circle.
He's light. He may be light of the house here. Yikes. Yes.
Comes up well short of the rings, halfway to the rings. A steal of 3 gives Jerry Chudley a 6-1 lead after 4 ends over Jason Gunnlaugson. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV and Western.
Come on, Goldie, really put your hips into it.
The Winnipeg Goldeyes. For more information, visit goldeyes.com.
Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba canola growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannies.ca for recipe ideas.
Open Nature, made from natural ingredients. Exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
When talking to your dentist, it's important to be candid about your medical history.
Some procedures, such as heart surgery or joint replacement, can dramatically affect your dental care. Wherever possible, complete your dental treatment first.
Only your dentist has the education and expertise to diagnose and treat all of your oral health needs.
To find out more, visit manitobadentist.ca.
Talk to your dentist. Good for you. Good for life.
Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
We're back at the Safeway Championship in Dauphin. This 5th end is brought to you by Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life. And real life is happening to Jason Gunnlaugson. A steal of 2, then a steal of 3 by Jerry Chudley.
What a disastrous couple of ends for Jason. Like it's just quite incredible. But the bottom line is you must be able to draw as the skip. And if you lose your draw weight, you slit your own throat, and that's exactly what Jason has done. Everything looks good for most of them. We can go back to, of course, that tick, sort of a lucky break for Chudley back a couple of ends ago, but then Jason misses. And then Jason, he plays the game assuming he can make his last rock, and he hasn't, and that's the key. That's what the big downfall is here. It's just taking two key shots, 2 missed draws, and all of a sudden the game's blown apart here a bit here. There's still a long way to go, but psychologically that's got to be a real downer for the Gunnlaugson team.
This will test the relationship between the skip and the rest of the teams, or the rest of the team. But they do have 6 ends to go. They trail 6-1. Jerry Chudley of Neepawa leading Jason Gunnlaugson and his team. Chudley has put his first rock in the 4-foot circle. Gunnlaugson has played the tight guard, and Chudley has asked Paul Robertson to again put his rock full in the rings right into the top of the one that's already in there.
Well, for Chudley now, he doesn't want to get rocks up front. He wants to minimize that as much as possible. Try to keep the house a little cleaner now here. Try and keep Jason down to 1. Now, for Jason's point of view, he basically has to get a deuce here and get back into the game, at least thinking that you can crawl and sort of grab your way back into this game. But a deuce is what he desperately needs at least. 3, of course, would be as a bonus, but he's got to look at this and say, let's not try and get everything back at once. You can't do that. Let's see if we can get a deuce, and then maybe steal one. Get your feet on the ground a little bit here. Settle things down. It's not the end of the world, but it's a little deflating.
But you can see it from here.
Oh, of course, it's deflating.
Andrew Irving will play a draw. He'll go behind the corner guard. Out-turn draw. Bone brothers are the sweepers.
Get ready to finish. Good shot.
That last rock of Jason's actually wasn't even close.
No, halfway.
Yeah. Didn't even get to the rings. It was one thing to be a little light, drawing to the 4 foot and come up into the 8 foot, but when you don't even come to the rings, it's quite a difference.
Paul Swisco. No, that's not Paul. It's Kyle Swisco. Was asked to remove that corner guard. Rolls right across the rings. Probably happiest if it had rolled right out of play.
Yeah, they don't want too many rocks in play. There's anything, Gunnlaugson is looking for anything to come down to or up against and that. And you can see he's even going to look at this. He's looking at coming in behind it. As I said, Jason, despite the fact that he's really had real problems with his draw weight, he is still a master strategist and will do everything he can. The main thing is when you get into complicated strategy like this, you got to make your shots, and the shots become a little more difficult depending on the circumstance.
Dennis Bowen, the in-turn draw behind the Chudley rock at the top of the 12 foot.
That's an excellent rock. That's a super rock under pressure, basically. Now for Chudley, too many rocks in the house. At least from his point of view, no guards. So which is a good thing. So he just wants to simply eliminate this rock. I think what you mentioned earlier is he'd like to probably roll out. Keep it a little cleaner. Yeah, exactly. A little tight when he let it go.
Okay, good enough.
Right, it keeps it clean. The other, an interesting little psychological thing here is for the Chudley team, they say, okay, now all we can do is blow it. No, really, you do think this way in a game of this pace. When you get a game of curling, it's not like hockey or football. You get time to think. And time to think can be disastrous for most humans. We all have been there. And what happens here, they're saying, okay, we're now up 6-1. We should win. Everybody expects us to win. If we blow this game, everybody's going to say, how did you do that? And then what's going to happen here, it starts to sit on your shoulder again now. One side of your brain says, don't blow it, and the other, and it puts it's a strange feeling. In most competitive games, you prefer to be close all the way, then make your move near the end, so you don't have to put this anxiety on yourself. And I think all curlers can relate to that.
It's absolute fact. Without even having talked with these guys very much, I can guarantee they did not expect to be 5 points up at any point in this game.
No, precisely, and they know the reputation of Jason Gunnlaugson as a curler and the Bones. These guys are terrific curlers, so you're right. And so now they're saying, oh, gee, we've got this game, now all we can do is blow it. And you can't think that way. You got to just keep it as simple as possible. It's up to Chudley to try not to do anything really stupid. Just play a simple game. Keep it as. Don't worry if you give up a point or two.
Kevin Cooley playing the tap back past his own guard, hoping to remove that rock from play, but he doesn't. He rolls over into the center and creates a cluster, which makes an interesting decision for Jason Gunnlaugson.
Yeah, you're right, it is a cluster. For Jason, he doesn't want to remove them. He wants to come down to it. We'll see this rock coming down again here. He's trying to, trying to remove that. But it didn't turn out what he wanted. But you're right, there is a cluster in there. Now for Jason, he wants to move the rocks around a little bit at the back there.
Just to the half.
He's asking for a hack away. He's not like throwing a bomb to try and clear everything out of there, which doesn't do any good. But he now has a little bit of potential. He's got something to work with at least.
Well, he does have fourth and fifth shot rocks. He's playing that gentle weight, stir things up a little bit, move them back of the 4 foot so that they're backing rather than in front of. That is a good shot.
This is proving to be very, very interesting now. For Chudley, does he go to the open rocks here now? This is an example of too many rocks in play.
I was going to suggest that hitting and rolling off this red stone onto the back of the button wouldn't be a bad shot if he could make it, but he would jam it on his own in the back of the ring.
Yes, exactly. And then all of a sudden there's these little biters that can come back to haunt you a little later. Very interesting situation.
So he has elected to hit the open rock out in the 8 foot circle. Let Gunnlaugson be the one who's making the plays in the 4 foot until one of them is free so that he can hit it.
Interesting. So he just wants to hit and stick here. He's still a little cat and mouse here a little bit. They're still trying to. They don't want to sort of put this in the wrong position to allow the Chudley team off the hook. They just like to sit and stick here and keep him playing maybe at that side.
Interestingly, those two Chudley rocks are the ones that are protecting the opportunity for Gunnlaugson to score a couple of
this. This one's going to move on him.
Stop, baby. Stop, baby. Stop, baby. Stop, baby. That's a great shot.
Well, this is very interesting now. Jason's interesting to listen to. He's talking to the rock, telling it to stop, and then. So here you can see he's screaming at it to stop, baby, stop. You know, and it's hanging around. So there's some. He has some very interesting potential here, Esby. Now Chudley has to be very careful of what he's going to do here. Just hear what they have to say here.
We're good. So, yeah, I just don't want to go over curl. We got to get rid of this one. Well, just we got to make sure we have enough ice. That's.
I think good control there.
Good control.
I think Jerry thinks his perfect shot is to remove the one that's sitting right on the open nature side, roll back to the center line, and leave the other red one without doing anything to the two yellows.
Yeah, they can't get rid of the middle red one. Can't be. You need to stick a dynamite to get that one out of there. If you're going for the top one.
But if you can hit that top rock and roll over full in the 8 foot to take the one in the back of the 8 foot out of play, Gunnlaugson is back to having to make the play on those two yellows.
The red one, yeah, it'll be just interesting how he ends up here.
Oliver Curling, he's going to get more action on the yellows than he wanted.
Ooh, that's not exactly what he wanted to do there. Anyway, watch this again. Like he had him on it right off the bat, and it's cutting more than he wanted. He did not want to hit it that way.
He didn't want to nose hit it. He needed to roll to center
line. And that
line.
sort of frees up a little bit of the back one here, whereas the back one there was potential for jam on that back one later. But now, let's see what he has to say here.
Right.
I really like that if you make it, they're all behind there.
I know, it's really good. It might not hit it out though.
Yeah.
So you need to throw pretty hard to do that.
Okay.
With
Whatever you
hat?
like. Oh, you want to play it?
Just the board? What do you like? Pumped weight. You can't hit anything out, so.
You need board, I think, if you're going to play this, because we just don't want to split up the house here.
That's not the worst shot, honestly.
No,
we get them buried. Like, if we get these two buried here and here, who cares if that? He's got to hit this or draw it and give us a chance for five.
Okay.
Yeah, before it. Oh, this goes. Because if we ever go on here, that's fine.
This is. He's so animated. It's great to listen to.
Yeah. Okay.
There isn't a sport in the world where you hear
Get both rolled on yellow.
that kind of
I don't
interplay.
mind that.
No,
Paul.
and
Makes it simpler.
and still with a high level of respect, which is it's hard to do, with that tone. Very interesting.
Is it? Just hit and roll. I think so.
So basically, what he's trying to do is come across the face of his rock here.
If we're heavy, we can't knock anything out.
He wants to sort of lighten up till he salvages everything. He does not want any of his three to go out of the house.
He believes hitting the angle right on this red one, he will roll both reds behind the yellow one in the top of the 8-foot circle.
He's got a pretty good-looking shot here.
Something like that.
That is a really good shot, even though it's still sitting around. But it's a really, really good shot. Now, interesting. We'll see this when we see this one again. You'll see the weight, the control weight he's got on it. So he doesn't overthrow this at all. You're right, he spins them both in behind those guards. And it just is a very interesting situation here now. See what the Chudley, what the guys have to say. We have a timeout.
Smart time to take time.
Well, they got to be very. Well, you're right. They got to be careful. Let's hear.
When did they roll here? Will be second, third, and fourth. Then he's got to cut the scoring area down. Like that.
There you see the two teams are very close together. That 24 minutes.
The other shot is freeze it or tap it.
But the thing is, you sit here, there could be a hole for him to make the double. The only thing is, if you don't make this, he's got it.
If we just freeze this, he's gonna have a hard time. And just tap it here, he's gonna have a hard time scoring.
It's whatever you want. A couple options. We're thinking freeze or hit 3/4 of this and lay second, third, and fourth. The only.
You can see almost all that.
They have the coaching on this one.
Probably 2/3 of that rock. Yeah, you just play to kill it and roll over.
No, I think.
I think our safest bet with the scoreboard is maybe to hit that.
Yeah.
Because your shooter is going to stick around too.
Well, we've got to make sure we're out counting this. Lane,
Check.
second and third.
But if we can double roll.
John Swisco, who's
like
won more than his share of games as well.
Yeah. Okay. I think so. So where do we have there with control?
Yeah.
We hit it
Pretty much right.
just off nose?
Yeah, right there. Same thing.
Okay.
So they're trying to hit the top yellow, as he mentioned, just off center, control, spill the red one, and roll towards the center for second shot.
Basically, at this stage, conceding to Gunnlaugson if he can make his last rock, but not taking a chance on giving him 3.
No, exactly. They had talked about a draw down to the rock there, but I think that would have been a bad one because if you pull up a little lighter, all of a sudden you got yourself. You're going to give up. You could give up a 3 for sure.
Yeah,
but
same weight.
he's still got himself in a little bit of trouble here. Just see what happens.
Jerry Chudley's final rock of this 5th end. Chudley leads 6-1. Needs to play the yellow onto red, remove the second shot stone, forcing Gunnlaugson to play for 2.
Well, it's not a bad shot, but he's giving Gunnlaugson
he's giving him the draw for 2.
But the draw, we haven't seen too many good draws for Gunnlaugson,
but I can see Gunnlaugson saying, I can come off that top yellow and make double kill. I can make triple kill for 3 here. Is it worth the gamble?
I think that'd be a bad shot, but if this is the 9th end, maybe.
It's really thin to miss it thin, but yeah. No, I'm fine with that. Okay.
Oh, interesting. This may have a lot to do with the fact that his draws haven't been too great.
Okay, quarter off, third off.
I guess he thinks all he's got to. He is a Mississippi gambler, and he gets a quarter of that rock. He should do that, and he's. It'd be a real lift for the team, but you can see the angle is okay.
And there's 3 different angles that can work here.
Yeah,
he can count 2 off the top one or the back one, or he can count 3 by coming right into the 2.
And he'll throw a bit of a spinner, so there'll be all sorts of rocks in play, moving anyhow.
And
did he get inside though? No, he's got too much of it.
Just a little less, he would have stopped on that for 2, but he gets only 1. Jason Gunnlaugson trails Jerry Chudley by a score of 6-2 at the 5th end break. Don, an interesting first half. Not the way we would have expected.
No, certainly not. But I'll tell you what, he gets he got a little inside on the last one. He gets that properly, and he gets himself a 3, and it's a holding ball game.
So they're now going to have to go into that next end, and Gunnlaugson now has to go full bore for a steal.
Absolutely.
So we'll be going down momentarily to Mitchell Clinton, who will be visiting with the skips, just to give you an indication of what's been going on out there. The Gunnlaugson team curling 98-93, 100% for David Bone. Jason Gunnlaugson at 75. That the key, of course, being those 2 draws that didn't work out. The Chudley team at the back end, Cooley and Chudley 90 and 93%. Robertson at lead 93. Seversko is the low man at 75%. But when the back end guys are shooting 90%, as told to us by Bunny Small and Ralph Wilson, they're the guys who are going to be in charge. Mitch Clinton has got Jason Gunnlaugson.
All right, thanks, guys. Here with Jason Gunnlaugson. And Jason, obviously things not going the way you guys wanted, especially in ends 3 and 4. How do you recover from that? You went for a nice little walk. Was it venting? Was it cooling off? What was it?
No, it's just a little break. It's just frustrating. The team's playing so well, actually. I don't know if the stats are up on the board, but they basically aren't missing my guys, and I'm just missing a bunch. So if I could make an 8 rock, I think we'd be in business. The Chudley team's obviously playing very solid, though, and not giving us a ton of chances. But when we do manufacture them, I just got to execute at the end.
And going forward into these ends, what kinds of things are you going to be trying to do to kind of maybe push the envelope a little bit to try to get back into it?
I think we kind of saw that in the 5th end there. We really did everything in our power to try and create a 3 out of nothing. And we kind of did, actually. It was pretty impressive. It was like 7 perfect shots in a row again, and then not the best 8s. So if I could make a few 8s, we probably are rolling back, I would imagine.
That's Jason Gunnlaugson going into the 5th end break, and Jerry Chudley coming in on my other side as Jason exits. Jerry, obviously for you guys, the first 5th end, the first 5 ends there going well for you guys. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so far so good. We've played the type of game we've wanted to, I guess, but we know they're capable of coming back, so we got to stay sharp, I guess, for last 5 ends. So.
And you mentioned that they do have that potential of coming back. How do you guys avoid almost not necessarily the feeling of complacency, but that feeling of dropping back, playing more defensively, and almost allowing that to happen?
I don't think we can drop back and play defensively. I think we got to stay aggressive and not try and stay out of trouble, obviously, but you can't let off too much because they're too good of a team and they'll get back in it. So.
That's Jerry Chudley who leads the way going into the 5th end break. And that very 5th end break, it's brought to you by Manitoba's Dentist. Trust your dentist. Good for you, good for life.
Safeway, proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Brought to you by Email Direct. For more information, visit safewaychampionship.ca.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannies.ca for recipe ideas.
Safeway Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba canola growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
Chudley Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Congratulations, Johnny! You've just won your first curling trophy by playing in the easiest bonspiel in the province. Okay, it wasn't that easy. He practiced hard. He went on a road trip with the boys to a small town he'd never heard of. He enjoyed a beverage with some new friends, where he won a toaster off the raffle table. Yes, Johnny the Hammer has had quite a year, and it all started with a click.
We're back in the Safeway Championship in Dauphin. There's the results of the first day of play. Skinner, McEwen, Dunstone, Elias, Foster, Myburn, Robertson, Mundane, Fowler, and Grassi. All winners.
No real upsets in the first day.
No, there really weren't. Gunnlaugson, Ramsey, Woodward, Stoughton, Peters, Atkins, Colomea, Taves, Hamlin, and maybe Chudley last night beating Terry McNamee was the only upset that you'd really say that one should have gone the other way.
But then he's on the verge of another one and back-to-back upsets.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so perhaps it wasn't an upset after all.
You know, the interesting thing, of course, is that Terry McNamee lost the semifinal game Sunday morning a year ago, lost his opening game to Travis Graham from Thompson last year, and went on a great run to the semifinals. So Terry McNamee has already had this same experience a year ago.
Deja vu. Just shaking his head.
So the game is on. The sixth end is brought to you by Manitoba's Dentist. Trust your dentist. Good for you. Good for life.
Now this is not a good shot right here. He does not want that rock in the house.
This really plays to Jerry Chudley, who can play a very conservative game.
Well, of course. Well, he doesn't need for Chudley now. He's got the hammer, and certainly for Gunnlaugson, he did not want that rock in the house. This is the best, I think, for. I think Gunnlaugson, even if he does make a hit and stick here, he's just going to ignore it and put a guard up front.
Hey, this end is brought to you by Winnipeg Goldeyes. Season mini and flex packs available at goldeyes.com.
Slightly on this side, center.
So Jason, he's just, as he indicated, just calling for a draw guard, just up halfway between house and hog, but on the left-hand side of the center line. His interview is he's very candid on that, and just indicating that if he'd been making his last shots, he's very high in the way the team has been playing, but if he had been making his last shots, it'd be a big difference in the score, which is absolutely true.
The stats that Bunny Small and Ralph had given us and proved that out, mentioned just before the interview. Andrew Irving at 98, Dennis Bone at 93, and David Bone at 100%. Jason shooting 75%. And Jason not pushing the blame anywhere, but right on his own shoulders. He knows his team is playing great.
Exactly, and they're doing exactly. They're playing exactly what he wants, but he's got to make that last shot, and that's been the key. Well, the draws have been just like the guillotine coming down on them, and those missed draws on the fourth, fifth ends were really bad shots.
Paul Robertson is asked to throw a second rock in the rings, but has gone much too deep behind the tee line with that first rock, and Gunnlaugson has got something to work with.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful pocket. He doesn't want to be doing this. For Gunnlaugson, he doesn't want to remove those rocks at all. He needs to keep those rocks in play. He needs them for backing. He does not want to remove them. So just come down to that is all he's asking for.
But they are perfectly situated as compared with the previous end. The previous end, eventually he had to play to move those yellow rocks. These ones never have to move.
Yeah. The last end turned out to be an extremely interesting end. Well, all the ends have been very interesting, actually. It's just been the last rock of Jason's that has made a big difference in this game. Now here's a heck of a shot. Look at that.
Great shot by Dennis Bone.
You basically couldn't have carried it down and put it any better than that.
And as I mentioned earlier, that was Dennis, and it's obvious when Dennis throws which one is Dennis and which is David. And great.
Obvious to who? You?
There are some who think David and Dennis are identical, but of course the differences are very...
it's interesting.
Chudley now removing that guard. He couldn't remove it, of course, earlier because of the free guard zone rule.
So Jason, he still needs a little more clutter up front, sort of thing. He's not satisfied with this. They're just sort of sitting ducks right there. So put another guard up front and just keep going and hope by the end of the end that he's got something still to work with.
Well, if he gets the guard up and Chudley nose hits or rolls a little bit off center, he's got what he needs to work with. But he needs that partial miss from the Chudley team to make this work.
This is how tough a guard is. You can see this rock it just moves. But this center guard is okay, because even if it's not guarding the rocks in the house, it's still Chudley has to go for it, because if he goes for the ones in the house, he'll never get that red rock out of there, and then it allows Jason to come in behind the guard. So Chudley has to take this guard off.
And he'll use Kyle Swister to do it. Out-turn hit. Maybe right up the center. Just ticks. Have to guard against getting excited and throwing that hit just a little too hard.
Jason again, he'll attempt to just keep putting these guards up front. There's no point in doing anything else right now.
And as you can see, that was David who delivered that rock.
Yeah, it's a little further out too on this one. No, they don't want to bring this one in too close. It is going to be it's going to be close to biting almost. Now Chudley's looking at any sort of possible angle. What the best way to hit this other than just peel?
The thing he doesn't want to do is run it straight back.
Jam it. Yeah, exactly. Jam it into there, and then all of a sudden, Gunnlaugsson's lying too.
Yeah. All right, guys. All right. Please. Start that.
Kevin Cooley hitting and rolling away.
Good shot. He's played a very fine game.
They'll just continue to throw guards.
Yeah, he'll right to the end. He'll want to do this, and this is a little better guard than the previous shot.
Chudley has decided it's time to play the one in the rings.
Interesting.
I'm thinking Jason may be happy with this call.
I would think so too, you know, because I don't know how he can get it out. If he hits it at any certain angle, it's gonna stay in there, and then Jason can still come in behind, and he still has something to work with. He'll still have backing.
Shot. That's exactly what Jerry Chudley called for. He said, I want a nose hit on this, and it was the only way he could kind of not get himself in trouble.
Yeah, that turned out to be a really good shot.
Pretty good.
So for Jason here, just trying to make a draw come around.
Just got to be dead buried, at least hitting the 8-foot.
This is a key shot for him because of what's happened in his previous draws. He's pulled up light.
His intent is to go behind that center guard, top of the 4-foot, full 8-foot.
He's got to make sure he doesn't come back too far. He doesn't want to get right there so that Chudley can actually double off from his own and get the shot rocked. So, and also that would mean he could possibly lie 3.
Line's great.
Room, still there. Line's good.
Can't go in by the 4. Oh, we're all there. Line's good.
Starting to come in there nicely.
Wall line. Wall everything. Wall everything. What? Why?
Okay.
And Max.
See, with that dying weight, it sneaks out the other side a little bit. See, now that Jason, that's in for third shot only.
Well, Don, we've been watching Dunstone and Elias throughout the game. Dunstone's fought all the way back to be tied at 4, playing the 6th end. Dave Elias with last rock, facing 2, maybe 3, throws his last rock draw deep in the rings. Dunstone steals 2 to go up 6-4 after 6 ends.
That was interesting for Dunstone. That's after what they had that horrible luck when the broken broom and the second man goes down in the ice and burns the rock. So to Dunstone's credit, they hung in there, and now they've got control of that game.
Chudley goes to the hack for his first rock of this 6th end of our Gunnlaugson Chudley game.
So what he wants to do is just hit his own, roll in behind the guard.
If we do get it on the nose, it could be laying 2. He'll just blast it though. Yeah. Hard! Hard, guys! Hard! Really hard!
Too thin.
He turned it over in the release.
Yeah, with that kind of weight too. Not a great shot. So what it's done now is given Jason an opportunity to sneak in behind his own, behind the guard, plus his own in the 4-foot. So he's lying 1. He's got a golden opportunity here now to sneak in here, put it on the button, guard it, and be lying 2. So bit of a turnaround.
Jason Gunnlaugson had struggled with his draw work through the first half of the game, has made his first draw of this end, biting the top of the 4-foot. It over-curled a little bit to his liking, but he has the weight figured out now.
Yeah, he basically throw the same shot and allow his sweepers to control the destiny of this one.
Don't do anything.
Oh, he's got a little more weight on this one.
Stay with it. It's going to be good.
A lot of weight. starting to come down now, but I think he's got a little too much.
Go. Okay.
Died enough, but that's not what he wanted to do, because it makes it. It's easy to come down to on that. Chudley's only error here could be to be light. He did not want to leave it out like that. He wanted sweeping control, whereas he actually tucked it in behind. This is a relatively easy shot for Chudley. What he could have been up against would have been a lot more difficult if Jason had to come in behind those the guards.
If Jason had thrown top of the button weight, he would have been a foot further over in his draw, and it would have been very.
He needed weight that needed sweeping and allowed that it started to move on him. But he had too much weight.
Jerry Chudley with the final rock of the 6th end in our feature game here at the Safeway Championship. Drawing, facing two Jason Gunnlaugson rocks, one in the back of the forefoot, one biting the front of the forefoot. Hasn't broken in yet, but here it comes.
He looks good. Just enough. Excellent shot.
Jerry Chudley scores a single point. Chudley of Neepawa leads Jason Gunnlaugson 7-2 going to the 7th end. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV and Westman.
Come on, Goldie, really put your hips into it.
The Winnipeg Goldeyes. For more information, visit goldeyes.com.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannies.ca for recipe ideas.
Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Even if you don't have insurance, your dentist can help you get the dental care you need.
Your dentist can help you assess the benefits of treatment and the consequences of avoiding it before any decisions are made, whether you're insured or not.
Only your dentist has the education and expertise to diagnose and treat all of your oral health needs.
To find out more, visit manitobadentist.ca.
Talk to your dentist. Good for you. Good for life.
Open Nature, made from natural ingredients. Exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
We're back at Dauphin's Credit Union's place. The game between Jason Gunnlaugson and Jerry Chudley. The end is brought to you by Manitoba's Dentist. Trust your dentist. Good for you, good for life. Jerry Chudley making the draw to the back of the forefoot circle. A little bit of backing on the 6th end, facing two. Gunnlaugson with the opportunity to force the issue. Went deep with his last rock draw on that 6th end. Chudley with his first rock of the 7th. Now asks Paul Robertson put his rock in the rings. He does, puts it on the tee line, just deep of the tee line. But in this context, Don Finkbeiner, just a perfect shot.
No, absolutely. And but Jason had the chance to really put some heat on him, to put some pressure on him. His first rock, Jason's last rock was the problem one. If he has sweeping weight, gets in, tucks that in behind the guard, that meant a cold draw to the button for Chudley. to save the end. So a big difference in the type of rock that Chudley had to throw on his last rock, because Jason's wasn't exactly what he wanted.
The standard logic is that you don't throw that draw to backing, you throw it to the button, but I'll guarantee you that Jerry Chudley found some relief in the fact that he had that backing on that shot.
You're right. You never want to use the backing. That's quite often when you do that, you end up putting it outside a little bit and sneaking it right by. But in that case, he made a great shot under pressure.
Andrew Irving played the corner guard. Paul Robertson was asked to throw a second rock into the 4-foot circle, reminiscent of that end on the 5th when things got very, very entertaining. Okay, where do I find?
Back house.
We're just trying to get like a quarter off all there. We're trying.
So for Jason here, he's just trying to come down into this area here. Just make sure he moves the rocks around a little bit.
Solid 11.
Shot.
Nice rock. Moves the rocks around nicely.
Back to Chudley having the opportunity to remove the one guard from play.
Yeah, he wants to keep things clear up front here and allow some, to keep it clean so that he's got nothing but to work with. The rocks would be in the house is all he has to work with.
Clean. Shot.
Dennis Bones, first draw of the 7th end.
All in all, just get some rocks in play, get them in the house, make sure you move things around just a little bit. You don't want to move anything out. You need the backing. And have a little just a guard on this is basically what he's calling.
Great shot.
Sorry about that. I was looking at moving the rock in the house a little bit, but he just needs some protection still on this one, hoping for a bit of a miss from the Chudley team.
Remember now that Gunnlaugson has last rock, so he doesn't have to steal. He's in a situation where he can begin to build maybe even a 2 at this point, down 7-4. Not a bad situation. Not great.
Exactly.
Dennis will replace that same guard.
Yeah, again, he just wants to see if he can build up some protection in there.
Hard plane. Good shot. Brilliant shot.
Gain halfway in, just across the center line.
No, it's a nicely placed guard.
Feeling play.
Jerry Chudley will be very happy with the way his team is handling a relatively simple game at this stage.
They've
just have to make
they
shots.
played a great shot, and it goes back to that sort of that lucky break he got early in the game there. But ever since then, they've been very, very solid.
Yeah. Clean. Just clean.
hold it a bit.
Line's great. Overcut right now. Whoa, whoa.
Easy. We're really curling.
Never.
Looks like it's over curling just a little bit on. Once it starts to go, it goes.
Good shot.
Not terrible.
After the next round.
Chudley again will just make sure that he gets, try and get rid of this guard again, keeping it open.
Kevin Cooley, his second stone of this 7th end.
Come on.
You have to perform under pressure. Under Pressure is brought to you by Granny's Poultry. Great taste, healthy living.
And this was the real pressure, and this is what happened here. The disaster for Jason Gunnlaugson. He's facing 3 against. He had to draw to the 4-foot, and he pulls up right of the house. And this was under real pressure, and this is the disaster it caused, and this is what why Jason's in such trouble right now.
Steal of 3 that gave them at that point a 6-1 lead. Back to game action. That was Under Pressure. Brought to you by Granny's Poultry, great taste, healthy living.
And actually, on behalf of Jason, like as he said in the interview, his team is playing very, very well. And it's his last rock that's caused the problems for him. And in every end, really, he has not been able to salt away that last rock, and that's been the difference in this game.
Just not making the 8s.
No, exactly. That's what he refers to it as the 8s, and that's exactly what's happened, and that's been the problem for him.
David Bowen made an outstanding freeze shot with his last rock, and Chudley now playing the hit. Nose hit, drive it out between there.
Fine shot.
Now Jason will play a freeze to the rock that sits in the back of the 8th.
Yeah, he needs to work with some backing here and force Chudley into jamming a rock somehow, so they can possibly get at least a deuce, maybe even a 3 if he got lucky.
Well, if he sets this rock up properly, corner frozen on that back yellow one, very difficult for Chudley well, impossible to get rid of both of them, and might be difficult to get rid of either one of them.
Yeah, well, if the one that's right in there in the 4-foot, if he hits on one side, he can get rid of it, and that kind of thing too. He's sort of a bad break in his part if he couldn't, but. A fair amount of weight on this. He's going to just sort of touch it a bit.
Good shot, Jason.
Now that's a pretty fine shot. So he's looking at the easiest way here. Maybe just all he's got to do is hit the corner of one of them. Just if he hits it on the corner, he's fine. The purpose here is simply to knock it out of the house, not worry about the backing and give Jason his shot at deuce.
Nose hit removes the red outside edge of the rock.
That's all he needs, yeah. That's all he needs.
Curls,
yeah.
He gives up 3.
Yeah, that's the only thing he doesn't want to do is turn it inside. And that. Yeah. The tendency, you got to be careful here. The tendency only would be that you're so concerned about getting it on that high side that you flip it out a little bit and you go by the whole thing. So that's probably the only thing he has to be concerned about.
Terry Chudley's final rock of the 7th end, playing to remove Jason Gunnlaugson's 3rd shot stone. Basically
that's
conceding
a great shot.
A pair.
That's a good shot.
Gunnlaugson will play that gentle tap back weight we've talked about, just enough to remove to bump the yellow back out of the forefoot. Put a pair on the board. Last rock, 7th end. Jerry Chudley leads Gunnlaugson 7-2. Gunnlaugson playing a tap back.
Oh, he's got to make sure he gets a lot of this. He looks like he's going to get it too tight.
Over curls, bumps it out, scores only one. It is a single point. Gunnlaugson.
Bad shot.
7-3. Jerry Chudley over Gunnlaugson. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV.
Come on, Goldie, really put your hips into it.
The Winnipeg Goldeyes. For more information, visit goldeyes.com.
Safeway Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba canola growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
Open Nature, made from natural ingredients. Exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannys.ca for recipe ideas.
Future kings and queens, find your way somehow in sight and mind. We will find a blessing or a curse. We waited in the wings and we will see. We will be the sky's splendid sand of dreams and trees. Quicksand and falling stars. Open up your eyes and find your way.
We're back. Dauphin Credit Union Place, the Safeway Championship. This 8th end is brought to you by Tim Hortons, proud supporters of Manitoba's Provincial Curling Championship. Jason Gunnlaugson misses with his last rock. Got one, could have had two, been back in the game at 7-4. At 7-3 without the hammer, and after that miss, Don Finkbeiner, I suspect there's some disappointment that could affect the rest of this game.
Well, disappointment is an understatement, I would think, on that one. You know, he just hit the nail on the head. It's his last rock on basically every end since the second or third end on has caused him the big problem here. He makes any of those sort of thing, and he's got himself a heck of a game here. But it's just one of those days for Jason. He'll just reflect back, saying, "I couldn't make my last rock." And that's been the story of the game. All other players on both teams have been playing very, very well. So Jason's been the only one. And unfortunately, you are the skip. That's the way it goes. And it's a real tough one for him, because he's certainly an energetic, entertaining, and very bright young curler.
Keep going. Hard. Start the end. Hard. Hard, guys. Hard.
Well, some interesting similarities across the sheets. Don Stoughton defeated Woodward 7-1. McEwen defeated Skinner 7-2. Sean Grassie leads Kyle Foster by a score of 7-2. They're playing in the 8th end. Foster throwing his last rock of this 8th end and playing a draw, facing 1. Foster is elected to play for 1 and concede the game. We'll see whether he actually stops in the rings or not. It looks as if he does. So 7-3 win for Grassi over Foster. McEwen beat Skinner 7-2. Stoughton beat Woodward 7-2. The score in our game 7-3, but it's Chudley over Gunnlaugson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the surprise.
But it's 7s across the board. You're lucky 7s if you're a gambler. This is the place to be right here. This is amazing. But you're right, Chudley. But you do, as I mentioned, and it's very, very obvious when you watch the game, is that it's just Jason's last rock that has caused the difference in this game. And on behalf of the Gunnlaugson team, this is still a really, really fine team. They have to reload here. And Jason, if Jason gets hot, then they're going to be fine. But they're not eliminated after this game. That's the main thing. And that so.
All of the losers on this draw drop into the B side. The winners go into A side qualifying games. So the winners are in that enviable position where they have 2 chances to qualify for the playoff round. Chudley would advance against Jeff Stout.
That's talk about an enviable. Well, he's been the underdog in 2 games so far, and it'd be again an understatement to say he'd be an underdog against Jeff Stoughton. But the way things are going, he can't help but feel pleased the way things have turned out.
My guess is he would say, give me a chance to play Jeff Stoughton Friday morning to qualify for the playoff round. And he'd say, every time, thank you.
Exactly. When he looked at the initial draw, he'd say, certainly.
So Chudley through with Paul Robertson's second rock. Dennis Bone playing a draw that will come across on the face of a pair of stones, one being a Gunnlaugson rock, the shot stone being the Chudley rock biting the 8-foot circle. And we will eliminate some rocks in play here. Will it be the guard or will it be the ones on the center line?
I think he should take the center line. Well, that's a good point actually, because he's going to jam the red one for sure. Maybe with enough weight he could jam all 3 of them out.
Nope, they go to the guard. This could be that time where he overthrows it, misses the guard, and gets the 2 on the center line. Yep. Nope. I took a chance on that prediction.
Well, we've seen that happen many, many times. We've seen a lot of good peeling of guards the whole game, actually.
They haven't missed, as I recall.
Yeah.
A miss being either the full miss or the nose hit. Either one is a problem. Dennis Bone's second shot of this 8th end. And again, they'll play the guard halfway in.
It's for the Gunnlaugson team. They're hoping for a bit of a minor miracle here. There's still a little bit of time, but they're if they don't score here, I think if they give up more than 1, I think we'll see the hands we'll see the handshakes on this.
Yeah.
Chudley again asked Kyle Swisco to remove that guard. They played a simple game, but they've played a good game.
Well, that's right. Yeah, they played it, and when Chudley had to make that couple of big shots here, he made them, and he came in under pressure, especially in the 4th end, which was the key shot in his first one when he came into the house, and then also later here to force Gunnlaugson when he made a nice draw to the, although be a little bit of backing on the 6th end here to get his 1, but he's played awfully well.
David Bone has been asked to play yet another guard. Stop it on the center line on the Geldwin sign is about where we want to be.
Exactly done.
Bite the D.
So Chudley will continue to just get rid of the guards. There'll be a move in here at one time where Jason will probably just want to come around the rocks in the house and hope for a break, but he'll leave this momentarily.
Those rocks in the front of the 12-foot do form an ice wall, and there's lots of opportunity to go around them and be well buried. Kevin Cooley removes that guard.
Again, awfully good at peeling the guards. They've been basically flawless all game on that. Now Jason has decided to come in.
I think he would be feeling that it's not likely that all three of those rocks will be removed with one shot.
There'll be something left that he can work with, but
Dennis Bone and Andrew Irving are the sweepers. David Bone throwing.
He's going to get by. Just a little bit of a
just lost it at that last minute.
Another foot and a half weight, he'd have been fine. Still in behind partially.
Conway, you want to throw? Yeah. Good ball.
Played that bumper weight hit, removed that one. He won't mind rolling right out of play. Certainly wants to roll to the wings.
Yeah, he doesn't want to leave anything for Gunnlaugson to work with.
I mentioned Kevin Cooley curled with Brian Fowler. There's a lot of similarity in that delivery.
Drew the flat foot.
Kevin Cooley's bump weight hit gets the hit, the roll away to the side.
That's a fine shot. See, he started off the game throwing fairly heavy takeout weights, but he's now, you can see, and we'll see it on the replay here, he's significantly cut back on that, which is good controlled weight, which shows why he's stuck around on that shot. In the first couple of ends, he'd be throwing a lot of weight on that, so he's adapted to the ice conditions. They're getting more comfortable out here, as you can see as the game goes on, and so that's a very good sign for them. Nice. You've got to be able to play that quiet weight hit on this kind of ice if you're going to win.
And for Jason Gunnlaugson, you have to be able to draw to the 4-foot behind three rocks in the front of the 12-foot. And you have to do it with this shot, his first of the 8th end.
This has been his problem all game, is the draw.
Line's really getting close.
See, again, this is he never gave it a chance to get in there because it's dead draw weight. You needed sweeping ice. You needed weight that's going to be moving and cutting. They had to cut really close to that guard, or not the guards, but the front of the house, the rocks in the front of the house, and he didn't do that. And because they had to leave it, now it's behind the tee line, which is not what he wanted. He needed that above the tee line, and ducked in nicely in there, but it's not. And now it leaves a bit of a pocket for Chudley. And actually, Chudley gets in here. Now Chudley's got a good opportunity to get a deuce.
That Gunnlaugson draw again, almost identical to his last rock draw on the 6th end, when had to be on the top of the button.
Precisely.
Came to the back.
Yeah,
of the
and then allow Chudley to come down to it on his last one, using slight backing if necessary. And that's been the problem. Jason's just overweight or underweight on his draws.
Chudley's played a very, very good game, but hasn't been forced in a lot of situations. He's been able to play a game that he's comfortable with. He may have turned this one over. Kyle Swisco, Paul Robertson are
this one's starting to move on
to sweep.
And they're going to do well to get it by. I don't think they're going to even get it by. No, he's on the front. There's a bit of a break, although not a great deal for Jason to work with, other than maybe hit and roll off the side.
Hit and roll off the hit and roll off the side or tap up the center line. Let's have another look at that.
Well, when you see it coming down there, compared to Jason's shot, this is just obvious. He got it started a little bit, and it was dying weight, and the sweeper's getting on. Once you've got that dying weight, you get it started, it will really take off. Now he's coming. The problem is with this, he has to go a little further out, and I'm a little surprised he might. I thought he might try the hit and roll.
Well, I would have thought that, or as I say, because the tap up the center line, but he's playing full draw.
The center line, in a way, the center line's a tough one too. The judge.
That's all it comes down to.
He's a character.
Comes down to the other guy's got to miss. Jason does understand. He's playing the draw. The sweepers are Dennis Bone and Irving.
No.
You see, look at how far out. See look at the spin he's got on that rock. You see the number of times it rotated. Now it's starting to move on him. They got to get it. They got to get on it here.
Hurry! Go! Hurry! Can't hurt it.
Okay.
Boy, that's a nice shot. You see what? By throwing a rock with that much spin on it, he got away with 4-foot ice rather than 6-foot ice. And you can see in the replay. See, look at the rotation on this. Way more than other curlers will have on that shape. This is how smart he is. When you play it outside like that, he knows he can get away with 4 foot of ice versus 6 foot of ice, or even 3 feet of ice versus 4 feet or 5 feet of ice. And if you try to follow him, you rack up the guard.
His most perfect shot of the day, I would suggest.
Yeah. Maybe a little too late, but you never know.
Puts it on the tee line, biting the 4-foot circle. Chudley has gone to the other side. They'll be looking at.
Well, if he just
move the yellow to the 4-foot.
Sure. You just come down to the top of the top red one there, hit it on the nose with sort of back ring weight, and you just raise it into the 4-foot for your point.
But this is when things sometimes go wrong. A nasty pick, a rock over curls, it bumps a rock on the center line, pushes it full to the 8-foot.
You're right. If it starts to take off on him and it cuts across and raises the rock on the center line, all of a sudden he gives a steal of 3. You're right.
That wasn't a prediction, by the way.
No, I know, but you're right. Yeah, but these things can happen in that, so you got to be careful. He's got to make sure he gets out to the broom.
Seems to be more consistent with that aspect on this outturn, his left-handed outturn, than with his other turn.
He's really moving on them. They're going to have to do well to get it. See, it didn't have the weight. You need back ring weight to do that shot.
So the surprise turn of events, Chudley comes up just a little bit light on that double tap for one. Jason Gunnlaugson and his team from Assiniboine Memorial steal 2. They trail 7-5 going to the 9th end. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV and Westman.
Come on, Goldie, really put your hips into it.
The Winnipeg Gold Eyes. For more information, visit goldeyes.com.
Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Safeway Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba canola growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannys.ca for recipe ideas.
Open Nature, made from natural ingredients. Exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
When talking to your dentist, it's important to be candid about your medical history.
Some procedures, such as heart surgery or joint replacement, can dramatically affect your dental care. Wherever possible, complete your dental treatment first.
Only your dentist has the education and expertise to diagnose and treat all of your oral health needs.
To find out more, visit manitobadentist.ca.
Talk to your dentist. Good for you. Good for life.
Jeld-Wen Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
We're back at the Safeway Championship in Dauphin. This end brought to you by Safeway. Ingredients for life. Jason Gunnlaugson and his team have stolen a pair on the 8th end, and that's breathed a little life into them. I think this is that last rock draw on the 8th.
Yeah, you can see right here, Jason actually pointing things out. But when you have to move 2 rocks, you had to throw at least back 12 weight on that to be able to move those rocks into the 4. People forget when those rocks sit there for a little bit, they just, not that they melt into the ice, but they sit there and settle. And it's just a question of physics, of movement of rocks that weight. So they underestimated that, and it caused him a problem. Now, is it too little too late for Jason? We don't know. But now the heat, it turns on. The burners are turned up a little bit here on the Chudley team. So we'll just see how there's still plenty of time left in a way. So it's going to be an exciting finish.
That last rock draw, in fact, Don, might not have come to shot rock position as a free draw.
Well, true. Actually, and it was moving, and I think he got it turned in a little bit. And almost to your prediction, we thought there for a second it might even come across towards the center and raise the red one in, which would have been really disastrous.
Gunnlaugson places the center guard 3-4 feet in front of the rings. Robertson goes to the 4-foot circle. Gunnlaugson now the second shot of the end for Andrew Irving, and they'll place another guard.
Just over. Line's actually great.
I got it.
It's hot. It's pretty good. It's real hot. Line is so good. Shit, baby. Oh, you use those like magic. You make them look good. I just love them.
This kid's way better commentator than you are, Don Finkbeiner. I love it.
He's great. There's no doubt about it. I'll take a back seat to him. That's not a problem. He's so animated. He's great to listen to.
Paul Robertson, the lead for the Chudley team from Neepawa. He's curling 92% through the first 8 ends, and he's asked to throw a second rock into the rings. This one's over curling just a little bit compared with the previous. Goes behind the guards, full in the 4-foot circle. Gunnlaugson's got the opportunity to put a rock in the rings with some angles that are pretty good to work with.
This is good. He's got something to work with. He's got a couple of guards out front. He's got rocks for backing in the house that he can use to move up later. So it's not so bad. He's got himself what he would perceive as an ideal situation here to be able to at least steal 1, possibly even 2, and make it pretty tight coming home.
Well, the game has changed from 6-1 in favor of Chudley after 4 ends to 7-5 in favor of Chudley playing the 9th.
There we go.
Like that.
You can tell the spirits have picked up dramatically in that on the Gunnlaugson team.
Paul Swisco takes aim at the top of 2 guards.
Yes. Wait. What?
Again, another simple, for him at least, a simple peel of the guards. He's just been great the whole game.
Now, rather than replacing the guard, Jason will go in. Second stone of the end for Dennis Bowen, who is like Paul Robertson, shooting at a 92% pace.
Yeah, it's been outstanding curling. The only difficulty has been with Jason, actually. He seems to have picked up a little bit in the last couple of ends.
Oh my goodness. Great shooting.
Taps that red rock up
to nice
corner froze.
It's fairly decent situation in here. For Chudley, he still wants to make sure he keeps things a little more open in the front, despite the fact of all the rocks in the house. Let's just get rid of this guard and keep it wide open so I can see what I'm up against here.
Wait. So Paul Swisco with his second shot removes the other of the two guards that sat there.
Again, just a piece of cake for him to remove those guards.
These two red stones sit beautifully positioned in front of the two yellows.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Jason, let's put a little bit of a guard out here. So he figures he wants to protect the one if we're looking down at it on the left-hand side here, because he feels that that's the one he wants to protect a little better. The other side, he'll let him take a shot at something else in the house on the other side.
That top red rock can be removed from play by a peel type shot.
Exactly.
Where the one frozen on the yellow, you hit it, you remove two yellows.
Yes, exactly. So you want to make sure that you protect the other one.
And protect the inside of it, so they can hit the outside of it and drive it back onto the red.
Yes.
Beautiful. Good stuff.
Yeah, so that's a perfect guard right there. A little bit of the pressure is starting to mount now on the Chudley team, despite the fact with last rock and a 2-point lead, they are under pressure.
Kevin Cooley recognizing that rock high in the 8-foot is the one that they really want to be removing, as he says, if we rub the guard, so be it.
All you got to do is hit that on the nose and you're laying two.
Will we still be shot?
Just get this one off of here, and then he kind of takes the angle away on him, right?
Is that what you wanted to know?
Just curious as how much time the teams have left now that we're getting into some heated discussions on the game. There we go. It should be fairly comfortable, I would think.
Clock running at 10:21 at 42 minutes to play the entire game. That's 4 minutes per end, 4.5 minutes per end, basically. So with 10 minutes left and an end and a half, there's more than enough time.
You would think so.
Hold tight. Gotta go. Hard, guys. Hard.
They like to play the draw past the guard to that fourth shot stone. Tap it, roll, jiggle things a little bit. Keep in mind there's a high guard just left of center, just outside your view, folks. So this is shaping up.
This is very interesting. There's a lot of rocks, but a lot of problems for both sides in a way. So Jason wants to just come down here onto the corner of his second shot. I guess it's second shot rock. No, actually third shot rock.
Probably
his own. Just come down to the corner of that. He still has stuff to work with.
David Bone throwing his final stone of this ninth end.
Stay with it.
Chudley lying two. Gunnlaugson corner frozen.
Shooter, you gonna roll shooter
Front
all
of the
day?
button.
Roll shooter all day?
I'm gonna rub a little.
Beauty.
Oh, this is very interesting. That's a great shot. It was a nerve-wracking one for them because it was dead all the way, no sweeping. You could tell they were walking on their toes on this one. It turned out to be a great shot. And we can see as it comes in here now. We'll watch this again. And you see they haven't laid a broom on it all the way. They're sort of breathing in, as curlers would do on this one too. And it just, at the end, it just starts to move as it's dying weight. And it turns out to be exactly what Jason wanted.
That little rub on the red stone to sit full in front of that yellow stone. The Chudley team now knows they are officially in trouble this end.
Good shot. Cut great late to save it.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting situation down here now. For Chudley, he's okay, but he's still got himself in a bit of trouble, and some paranoia can set in here very quickly.
My guess is he's decided he's got to hit something.
Well, he's got to hit this one right in the center line.
He may have moved things just enough that they can squirt that red one without removing both yellows now.
But if he comes too tight to it, well, he doesn't want to come across the face of it, that's for sure.
Kevin Cooley, his final stone of the 9th. Sorry about that.
Interesting shot here. It just moved a lot of things around here.
Tough to say from this angle. I would suggest, obviously, Gunnlaugson lies one, the one behind the guard, full in the forefoot. Chudley is second shot. Third shot could be yellow, could be red. The two sitting on the Safeway signs.
Well, the
at
two
opposite
red
corners.
are sitting ducks too right now for a double. But also now Jason's going to call a timeout, so it just we'll just have to see what they have to say here.
Like, we can just draw it here, right?
And the coach of the Gunnlaugson team is the middle generation. We talked about the grandfather and we talked about the grandson, but Daryl Gunnlaugson is the coach.
10. Yeah.
I think Jason, though, sitting Malta is going to put a lot more pressure on him.
I agree, but do we have to do it this time or next time? Like, what if we throw right here? What's his call?
Probably maybe just freeze tap.
Like, then we just bang this in line 4. Like, I don't see any good calls for him there.
What does he do if we do this?
I love that too. But I mean, that's jamming their pretend. Like, well, no, but if we know that we don't take it up. If we know that they're sliding a little this way, we don't take it up. But we kind of take our shot on a plate because it's not beating this one, that's not beating this one. He's going to run line 1 if we hit this even an inch high, even a millimeter high. Yeah. And if we jam it here, we might lie 2 at the top, but it's going to kill that. I think we just draw it here.
What does that do?
Let it throw.
Yeah.
What's he do? Is my question. Really?
No, he might just try and draw.
Yeah, exactly. And then we just slam this way in line 3, like. Maybe. But I mean, this thing jammed in here. He feels the guard probably. And then we hit this, then we make this double line 4. We gotta draw it.
Okay, so like that. Running with the ice.
But short's better than half.
Yeah, it was half bounce. But we're trying to well.
That's what I'd have done.
Well, this is. It's great to listen to what they have to say on this, and Jason is more positive, obviously, in his theory behind it, because he's got action. He's got a reaction to everything they've said about other alternative shots, about why that wouldn't work and why his is the best shot, which is what he's done. He's proved to the guys, okay, if you play something else, is what they will do, and he developed all sorts of scenarios. So it's quite interesting to listen to. So he is trying to come down to his own. As he sees Weldon on the corner there, he doesn't want to hit it back too far. He wants to get in there. Tough shot though.
Jason Gunnlaugsson's first shot of this end. Remember, Jerry Chudley will throw the last rock of the end if there's anything he can do with it. He's facing some challenges as Gunnlaugson tries to steal for the second consecutive end.
No one you like now. Hard! Hurry! Hard, you gotta keep going. Take that double away.
Okay.
That's a sweeping error.
I know.
They should have been on that all the way. Not a good shot. Now he's let himself sitting duck here. Even if it cuts a little more, Resby, then he blocks off. He blocks off that double attempt on the other side, even if it cuts across here. But you can see here, as we see it again, he knows what he wants to do. The sweepers, this is up to the sweepers and the calling to make sure they got it. Here they haven't touched it. Look at this. They're sitting waiting for it. They blow this right here. They should have been on this. Now it's too late. They tried to get on it and salvage it, but once it starts to go, it's too late. They had to anticipate. We've talked about this earlier. They had to anticipate that shot. So look at that. It's 2 feet light and very frustrating for him. Not that Chudley's out of the woods just yet.
Not by any means. He'll be throwing his first rock of the end.
Now we're not exactly in the situation looking at all that Gunnlaugsons are doing. We're not exactly sure what he's trying to do here.
Following the path of the Gunnlaugson stone, a little more weight, hoping to tap that red shot stone. Just about like that. Roll over here, lie to, and how good a shot was that?
That's a great shot. Now, this is a good. We'll see this again. This is a good finesse shot here because he's got it. It's got to be really tight to this guard to get by here. Nice controlled weight.
And that's
an outstanding shot.
The shot that Jason Gunnlaugson was trying to take away from him.
Yes, exactly.
The what's he going to do shot if I make this shot. He didn't make the shot. Chudley did.
Yeah.
Now we're laying 2.
Yeah.
Just make the hit and roll, and if we get the double, great.
I like it.
So what he wants to do is hit and roll in behind the guard. He's got to get in to roll in, obviously, for shot rock.
Yeah. That's good eyes. Just to the bumper. Just the bumper, just to the berm.
Jason Gunnlaugson, final shot of the 9th end. Playing, as you heard, just a bumper. He wants to get to the inside of the Chudley stone, roll across center behind his own 2 guards.
Trying to keep his hopes alive here.
Get ready, Andrew. Go on, Andrew. Go.
Oh, he's got a beauty. That's a great shot. Boy, that's a dandy. Does he give Chudley something, the way to get at it, though? I think he does, but that's an outstanding shot. That's good controlled weight. You see as he watch this as it comes down here. He's a perfect controlled weight. Look at this. Just weight, and just. He had without the perfect weight, it doesn't come over enough. That's absolutely outstanding shot. So now Chudley, well, they're looking at now a dead draw to the button.
Dead draw to the button, or some form of, well,
you could, yeah,
or the slash on the one on the outside of the 8-foot.
Well, they haven't looked at, on the left-hand side of the sheet, they haven't looked at the 2 red rocks at all.
They haven't.
They haven't looked at that as a possibility. As we look at it from there, the right-hand side of the sheet, they looked at the possibility coming off their own and maybe on their right. They want to try and get 1 here at least, but now things change dramatically if they don't get their point here, because now they're only 1 up coming home, despite the fact they've got the hammer in that, but it's slipping a bit on them. They're losing their grip on the game just slightly here. So this is a pressure shot.
Jerry Chudley, the skip from Neepawa. Last rock of the 9th end. He needs to touch the Safeway logo in the middle of the rings. The draw to the button, facing 1. Chudley leads by 2.
Line's good. Just for weight. Easy. Have a lock. Have a lock. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
No,
and did he touch the Safeway shot?
Fabulous shot.
An outstanding draw to cover the pinhole by Jerry Chudley of Neepawa. Chudley leads Jason Gunnlaugson 8-5 going to the 10th end. You're watching the 2012 Safeway Championship on Shaw TV and Westman.
Open Nature, made from natural ingredients, exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
Chudley Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannies.ca for recipe ideas.
Safeway Championship Curling on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Manitoba canola growers. Visit canolarecipes.ca.
First 2 seasons of curling, Alex Marchand won 7 games. 8 games. In that time, he put together a 2-game winning streak, got new uniforms, met an Olympic gold medalist, made the front page of Curling Monthly. He explained to his boss what sweeping does, and got his butt kicked by a guy with a fake hip. Yes, Alex the Hack Marchand has had quite a year, and it all started with a click.
Safeway, proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Brought to you by Email Direct. For more information, visit safewaychampionship.ca.
We're back at the Safeway Championship. That, Don Finkbeiner, is the Dauphin train station that puts me in mind of the fact that Jerry Chudley and his team have just been chugging along all day today. Do you like that?
And derailing
the hopes of the
Gunnlaugson team.
Jason?
That was an outstanding shot of Chudley on that last rock. That was basically the game breaker. When, mind you, well, funny things, we've seen worse things can happen.
Jason Gunnlaugson has effectively built 2 and 3 enders all through the second half of this game. He hasn't been able to score them. He's got the hammer. Down 3 coming home is not an enviable position, but down 3 with the hammer is better than not having.
That's right. His all throughout the game it's been his last rock, but he's finally starting to come around with it. His last rock in that last end was brilliant too, but then he was equally outdone by Chudley on that last rock. That was a great shot.
Chudley throws the first rock through the rings, a strategy that I might have expected him to use a little earlier in this game, but finally he's done it. Gunnlaugson plays corner guard.
But they still have to be careful. Although his team has been brilliant at taking off guards, they still have to maintain that, because with the free guard situation, you still got the potential for a 2 or 3 easily. So it'll be the Chudley team is not out of the woods just quite yet.
And I'll tell you what, if it was me in Paul Robertson's spot after having thrown my 2 through, I'd be saying to myself, at least it won't be my fault.
Exactly. That's a typical lead attitude when you And then that moves up the chain. If the second gets by the same thing, they always say, okay, it's not my fault. It'll be the backend's fault if we blow this game. So the lead, unless the lead boots the last rock by mistake or something like that too. But that's true. It's a tendency. You do honestly think that way. You're just relieved to get your responsibility out of the way.
Andrew Irving's responsibility is to place a second guard. Bone Brothers are the sweepers. They still have life. My guess is many folks watching, maybe even a couple of us talking, are surprised this game has gone to the 10th inning.
Yeah, did they hog this rock? No, they just about. Yeah, it certainly wasn't looking too bright for the Gunnlaugson team there halfway through this game, especially the way Jason was having challenges with that last rock. So, but to their credit, they've hung in and made a pretty good game of it.
Right in the microphone.
He just loves being out here.
Oh yeah, he's a real showman and that kind of stuff. But he's basically a breath of fresh air for curling. That he's very entertaining to watch, and he's quite interesting and quite brilliant to watch too, because of his approach to the game. He really sees a vision of the game that most don't, and he's quite impressive. Even if he loses this game, it'll be the credit of Chudley for winning this game too. Same thing. So it's been a great day for curling.
Dennis Bone is asked to throw a guard, come inside of the high guard at the hog line.
Great shot.
They'd like that another couple of feet deeper, but that's a good pair of guards to work with.
It certainly is.
Chudley now. They start to hit, and I know they also start to count rocks.
Yes, definitely.
First there need to be 5 behind the rings, and then there need to be 6. At this moment there are 2.
We gotta stop. It's buried. Good shot.
Kevin Cooley is asked to play hit on the 1 remaining guard.
What?
And now there are 3 rocks behind the rings.
Yeah, he didn't. For Jason, didn't want to necessarily have this rock in the house.
Yeah.
Guard it.
For Jason, they're hoping for a miss on one of these guards. That's basically their only chance here, is that they get some sort of miss so they can at least have a shot to get 3.
And they haven't got that miss all day from Jerry Chudley's team.
No, not at all.
Line's great.
Solid game by the team from Nipawin.
Looks like they're touching each other. That's okay. Good shot.
Opportunity to put 2 rocks behind the rings. Kevin Cooley's finding the stone of the end. Remove 1, hopefully remove 2. 4 behind the rings. 1
it's just
may or may not be biting.
No, from the reaction to Jason, I would suggest it's out. He was just.
My last.
Yeah, he's going to have to come around.
Dead. Well, we'll obviously try, yeah. Whack around here. But deep, eh?
Okay.
I guess bite the back 8.
You gotta go.
Final stone of the end for David Boone.
Hurry!
As you heard, Jason Gunnlaugson says we need to be in the rings and we need to be deep in the rings.
He's
going to overcurl onto the guard.
He's on the guard.
So now he wants to freeze to it. But he's going to get a tap, sit wide open on the center line. Not quite wide open.
Make it tough. Shut.
Poor.
Well, this should probably do it.
Yeah, Jason says, well, we'll try to do something with that one on the edge, but there's really no way to put it on.
No. Well, I guess you could, but it's just almost an impossible shot.
Jerry Chudley. Out-turn hit up the center line. This will put 5 rocks behind the rings. Gunnlaugson will continue to try if he can put this one in. Some kind of a...
Double's probably easier though.
Well, Don, we've watched Dunstone and Elias all day. That game was 7-4 coming home. And it ended, Dunstone put up another one. No, he didn't. The game scored during the final score, 7-4, the last rock of the end, not thrown.
So a nice comeback for Dunstone after a sort of a shaky start, especially a burnt rock.
But if we go split, touch here, he has to flash a double. Plus, even if he makes it, we might not be able to make the tick double because we move it in the way.
Yeah, but how do we
he just throws it away.
We might be able to push it.
Like, he just peels this still, right? Yeah. So we might as well make it.
Yeah, Jason, he has to go for the double.
Ooh, that'd be tough, but it's probably there, yeah. Yeah, tap it to here, it might be there.
He just draws paint, too. I don't know, I like playing this double.
Well, whatever, yeah.
It's kind of one of those, well, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, either way, let's make a double.
I mean, if nothing else, I get to throw a hit at the end of the game. Yeah. But he's right, he's got to get rid of these two. The only hope they have of winning is an absolute flash by Chudley, and even if he gets the flash, they may not be able to put that biter on.
No, that biter is really, really a tough shot to make.
I don't know if we can make the split as a thing, eh? Like, we definitely need all of the house to make it. No. Let's make it. It's like very thin on this one.
Jerry Chudley's Neepawa team leads Jason Gunnlaugson 8-5. Gunnlaugson in a desperation situation, attempting a double kill, hoping for a miss, and then an almost miracle kind of split with his last rock.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
He's done the first part of the job.
Nice shot.
Now he needs Jerry Chudley to flat out miss.
Yeah, that's right. That's a tough one to ask for, to say the least. Well, it's turned out to be a very interesting game. Enough misses to make it a little bit bizarre in places and that kind of stuff. But all the credit to Chudley for a very, very solid game.
They have
very
played
solid.
They
played it as a team. They played an outstanding game.
You would say they were never forced, and that allowed them to play a game they were comfortable with. Yeah. But when they got into a little trouble late in the game, Jerry Chudley made outstanding draw.
Yeah, he made everything. And
has he done this?
Yeah,
a little fist pump.
Yeah.
Good for him. The boys shake hands. The final score will go in the books at 8-5 for Jerry Chudley over Jason Gunnlaugson. We'll be back with the postgame show in a moment.
Come on, Goldie, really put your hips into it.
The Winnipeg Goldeyes. For more information, visit goldeyes.com.
Granny's Poultry, a local farmer-owned cooperative, is proud to support Safeway Championship Curling. Good luck to all participants. Visit grannies.ca for recipe ideas.
Chudley Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Take that off later or what? Yeah. Okay.
Even if you don't have insurance, your dentist can help you get the dental care you need.
Your dentist can help you assess the benefits of treatment and the consequences of avoiding it
Just this distance?
before any decisions are made, whether you're insured or not.
Only your dentist has the education and expertise to diagnose and treat all of your oral health needs.
To find out more, visit manitobadentist.ca.
Talk to your dentist. Good for you. Good for life.
Open Nature, made from natural ingredients. Exclusively at Safeway. A proud sponsor of the Safeway Championship. Visit safewaychampionship.ca for more information.
We're back at the Dauphin Credit Union Place to put a final touches on today's Safeway Championship game. Our post-game show brought to you by Water-Right Technologies. Proud to provide the technology for championship ice at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts and the Safeway Championship. And we'll go down to Mitchell Clinton.
Down here with Jerry Chudley. And Jerry, you know, you made the big draw in 9. How was the heart rate going when you were in the hack for that one?
Yeah, it was going pretty good, and we knew we had to be right on the button, so sweepers did a good job of judging it, and had faith in them, I guess. So, yeah, it was pretty tense moments there, really putting the pressure on us there. So.
And 2 games, your win over McNamee, your win over now Gunnlaugson. Next round, you're up against Stoughton. You know, you were arguably the underdog in the first 2. You're arguably, once again, the underdog again in the next round. Basically, your thoughts going into that one?
No doubt we're the underdog, so I guess we feel like we got nothing to lose. We got to go out and try and give them a good game and hope for the best, I guess, and play well.
All right, there you go. Pretty simple strategy, if you ask me. Back up top to Resby and Don.
Jerry Chudley defeats Gunnlaugson, the game breaker. Brought to you today by McMunn & Yates, building across Manitoba. Don, what was the game breaker?
Well, actually, you go to the 9th end there where everything's on the line. And he simply, with the pressure on, he simply drives right in here to the button on his last rod to save the end and go 3 up coming home. So that, to me, is the game breaker.
And a great shot under pressure. Jerry Chudley covers the pinhole, rubs off that red rock on the side of the full button, covers the pinhole over that Safeway logo to take an 8-5 lead. The final score of our game, Jerry Chudley and his Neepawa team 8. Jason Gunnlaugson's team from the Assiniboine Memorial 5. For Don Finkbeiner, Resby Coots, back down to Mitchell Clinton to wrap it up.
Thanks again, guys, and thank you for watching us here on Shaw and Westman for the Safeway Championship here in Dauphin. Once again, thanks for watching us, and thanks to Resby and Don, thanks to everybody in the truck. We're back tomorrow at 7:45. At 7:30, it's the Water Right pregame show, so join us for that. And once again, thank you for watching the Safeway Championship on Shaw TV.